Good evening.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Dave, again, thank you so much for inviting the Friday night panel to On the Pen. It's an honor. It's an honor.
It's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. I was thinking about this earlier, Sabrina. I was like, I feel kind of like the dad who's like giving the lake house to the kids for the weekend. And it's like, just keep the joint standing and make sure nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. Well, I think we did okay, right?
Like you guys did great. You did so good. I listened back to the replay last week and I was just like, it had me all in the feels. It was exactly what I needed. And I was just so affirmed by the decision to add this element to this channel, and just so grateful that you and everybody who participates are willing to do it, because I think this is a really valuable thing for the community.
I agree with that. I feel that because this was born, like this started obviously on TikTok. I said last time I did this, I said that it was 11 months, but I had the date wrong. It was February 2nd. So we just hit our 1 year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Big milestone.
It's been really healing. I know for myself and so much of the community. So I'm excited to bring it to this platform and continue the conversation. So.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that it's an amazing. Oh, we got a late joiner. We know a little bit about milestones here. We had our 100th episode of On the Pen live last night. And when you pour your heart and soul into something, it just those milestones matter. So congratulations on the 1 year, and welcome to everybody who's joining tonight.
Yes, thank you to whoever is in the chat. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And if you're here from TikTok, let us know, what platform are you streaming this on? Where are you watching from?
Yeah, I would love to hear. I would love to hear as well. We're live to a couple. I'm trying to share this into the big group here. That's why I'm kind of staring down at my phone. And I'm half like on the edge of my seat waiting to get interrupted by my children.
Well, while you're doing that, I just kind of wanted to do like a little snapshot of who I am. So my name is Sabrina, or hi, my name is Sabrina, and I'm an addict of On the Pen. I'm kidding.
We're here to help.
Yeah, a little bit twitch, right? A big fan. But in all seriousness, I do have a deep love for this community, and my main goal for what I do is my content is usually geared towards welcoming new GLP-1 users into our community, and also focusing on overall health. I am a little bit of a pusher. I do push people a little bit outside of their comfort zone, but it is done with love. It's done with love. And I say this all the time: if nothing changes, nothing changes. So I think it's important. I think it's important to growth is important on this journey. And I had a chance to connect with so many people on TikTok who also share that idea of it's an overall health journey. And I'd like to bring on some of those people, bring up the guests that where we're going to just chat about our journey, our wins, challenges, and everything beyond the scale.
Beautiful. Awesome. Looks like Tay's on it. Beautiful. That's not me.
Everyone.
Look, Ma, no hands.
Hi, everyone.
I didn't mean to be in the first square. This is
no. What?
There.
Now we're just playing musical squares.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Great. Thank you
guys so much for joining and sharing your voices. It's important, and I appreciate your time, and I think a lot of the community does as well.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes. So happy for you.
Excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are fortunate enough to have Dave for just a couple of moments. Dave, I know how packed your Friday nights are. So thank you, number one, for popping up. And just if you don't mind, will you please tell everyone who you are and what you do for this community?
Oh, that's a big question. I am Dave. I am a father of 4 beautiful children and a husband to a wife that is way out of my league. So I'm just a blessed guy, and diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2021 in the fall. Introduced to Manjaro a year later, and basically in an effort to learn everything I could about the medicine I was about to inject into my body, I came to YouTube, and there just wasn't a lot of information about the medicine at that time. And mostly it was just people sharing stories of just dramatic, tremendous weight loss. So I was very, very excited for my journey. So I thought, if nobody's got information here that is about the actual medicines, how they work, where you get them, how to afford them, all those things, I'll just make that content, right? And so basically that's what I started doing. I started sharing a mixture on YouTube of my journey and of the news about the medication and just some of those things I just went over that I think of. And eventually ended up moving it to other platforms. And really, I believe On the Pen has become I'll try to give my 30-second elevator pitch on it. It's really what we take, all the information that flows about obesity medicine. It flows from 2 main sources. The one source is for the medical community. So think, medical publications like JAMA or PubMed or fill in the blank, all that information. Or it flows for investors who want to invest in the companies that are making the new novel treatments. And so what we do at On the Pen is we take all that information and we sort of translate it into something that can actually mean something actionable for patients. So whether it's a clinical trial that offers, potential hope for a new medication that's on the horizon, or whether it is what some of these companies have brewing in the future, some of the stuff they talk. We just had earnings calls this past week, both Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. And so we cover those, and we just try to give people as much information as they can so that they can have more competent conversations with their doctors and hopefully lead to just better treatment and better outcomes for people.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you do for this community. I know that you've had directly, you've had an enormous impact on my personal journey. And I know that there's so many others that would agree with that sentiment. So
thank you so much. You're very kind.
You. I mean, thank you, honestly. And the fact that you've done 100 episodes, right? I mean, yesterday was 100 episodes. That
was a big milestone for me. 100 episodes was not something I had in my mind's eye when I started doing live streams on YouTube. A show in general, I couldn't have imagined it. And so it was a big milestone. It was a special night for me, a special night for the community. There's some who have been around literally since the beginning. Mm-hmm. Some maybe even in the chat tonight. Just such wonderful, supportive community. I shared. I won't reshare it here, but I shared a story about a gal that I saw at the pharmacy at Target last night before the show, and it was just one of these moments. She was filling a prescription of Zepbound, and she really, I felt, was like the embodiment of everyone who comes to this community, whether it's Sabrina's lives or anybody who's on this panel. Actually, these are all creators, people who come to your content are just as lost as this poor lady was, who was just asking 1,000 questions of the pharmacist, and the pharmacist was just not that helpful. And not because she wasn't trying to be, but because she wasn't a patient. She's never lived it and she's never experienced it. And so it's just a special moment on the 100th anniversary of the On the Pen show to just be reminded. As a content creator, I don't know about all of you, but I tend to get so caught up in numbers, right? Numbers equal success, right? I mean, they don't, but they do when you're a creator, because those are kind of some of the yardsticks that we use to determine, is the work that I'm doing impactful and important.
Right.
And the reminder for me in all of that was, if there's one person, if that one lady goes online tonight or went online last night and found one video that one content creator put out, that means that person's work was worth it. And so it just helped me kind of get out of that mindset, which I've been really in my own head about lately, just about the numbers. Like, are we continuing to be impactful? What do I need to change? All these things. And it just was a reminder to just reset.
Keep doing it. You know, Dave, I also very much feel that, because my videos get a couple views. I mean, honestly, like a couple hundred views. But then I take a step back and I'm like, is what I'm doing bringing value? And then someone will reach out to you and say, Sabrina, because of you, I was able to do the arm challenge. And I was, so that for me makes it worth it, because if it's just that one person, we've done our job. You know, we've done our job. And if we can potentially help someone not feel the way we used to, you know.
100%.
But Dave, how much longer do we have with you?
We got about 3 minutes.
Okay. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to share or say before we do the church announcements?
Yes, get the book.
Where is mine?
Well, okay, so the church announcements. Okay, obviously, let's be respectful of each other, allow others to finish their thoughts before jumping in. I feel very strongly that this needs to continue to be a safe space for everyone in our community. And then be mindful of the languages and the topics that typically get flagged. And then also, if you have not already purchased Dave's book, what are you doing with your life? It is available. So if you look down and the scroll, it's scrolling across the bottom where it tells you it's available at glpbook.com. I have it in Kindle. I have it in paperback. And if there's a hardcover, I will probably get that one too. And then when it's available in Audible, I will also purchase that one.
I have the giant.
Just send it. Just send it. Just mail it, Dave.
I'm gonna leave, and I'm just gonna put this in my spot.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know, the real quick, I just want everyone to know, like, I don't ask Sabrina to shill the book, but I do just want, for anyone who's new, because I know there's a lot of people that aren't typically here at On the Pen that come in for Sabrina and for Allie and John Henry and Chanel and Mia and Daisy and Carrie. And so I just want to say, like, I literally wrote this book for, if this is you, this is who I wrote the book for. If there's somebody in your life that you have felt like I just can't tell them that I've basically lost weight, gotten healthy using GLP medications. I just can't tell this person. They just don't get it. That was the heart behind this whole book. When I started content creating very early on, so many of my followers were like, I don't tell anybody. This is my thing. I can't tell this person or that person. It broke my heart. It broke my heart to think that there were people that were missing out on real life relationships and closeness in those relationships because they felt like they had to hold this part of them back. And so much of that, you're not on those shots, are you? It doesn't necessarily come from a bad place. It's oftentimes comes from a good place, but a lack of education. And so it's just designed to be a very easy read to help people walk away with a better understanding of what it's like to live with the disease of obesity and why and how these medications are changing. And I'll just share a quick anecdote before I jump off. I see her in the chat. Mindy is an OTP member who bought this book. She came out of the GLP-1 closet using this book, which is exactly what I had in mind, with her mom. And she said it literally turned her mom from one of those, you're not on one of those shots, are you, ladies, to a believer in GLP-1s and somebody who firmly believes and now understands why Mindy has used those and is thankful for the fact that she has. And so that is literally like, if I wrote this book just for Mindy to have that moment, she was exactly who I had in mind when I wrote this. So it's not, I'm going to probably in the next couple of days be dropping the price on this book too. I just want as many people who can benefit from it to have it. It's just probably one of the things that I'm most passionate about that we've done here at On the Pen. So thank you for letting me show the book, and thank you for doing it for me.
We're always doing it in every single available opportunity, even when it's inappropriate. I'm like, did you buy Dave's book? I mean, I think I was interviewing with Daisy and I was like, can I just plug Dave's book real quick?
Too kind. Well, thank you for having me here, Sabrina. Thank you for assembling everybody. Thank you to each and every one of you who are on the panel tonight and in the chat. I just this is just such a great thing that you're doing here, and I'm just so thankful that you've chosen to bring it to On the Pen, Sabrina. Thank you.
I'm honored.
You have a great night. Thanks.
You too.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave.
Thank you all.
Bye, Dave.
He's the best. The best.
Yes.
So, okay. Oh, the last church announcement is, if anyone who is watching this currently or after this post as a video, if anyone is interested in being a guest on the panel, across the bottom, there's information on where you can go. Yeah, where you can go. And there's just an interest form right on the website, on thepen.com/Sabrina. So for anyone who's interested, please submit that so we can share your voice, and the community needs it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's, does anyone have anything before we do panel introductions?
Who coined the term church announcements? I just want to point that out.
You did.
Thank you.
You did. Janelle's been on the Friday night panels since the beginning.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me do my own announcement. She's like, Sabrina and her church announcements. And I'm like, I love that.
But I do want to say we're so proud of you, Sabrina. So thank you for having us on.
Oh, thank you.
And excited to get into the stories.
Yes. We've been doing this for so long on TikTok, like the algorithm is going to send it to the same people. I feel like bringing it to this platform, it's opening up a whole new world to people who don't know what we've been doing for like a year, and there's so many new people that we can potentially connect with and help heal the way we have. I know that I've healed quite a bit from this, and so I'm excited. I am excited about that. So, Carrie, do you want to start with your? So I'm going to have you do your introduce yourself and then give us one non-scale victory.
All right. I'm Carrie, wellness scrum master in all of the places. I have been on a GLP-1 for 2 years and 7 months. Every time I say that, it sounds crazy.
What's that noise?
It's the dinging.
I don't know, but it's got to stop. It's on like Twitch.
What is that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's not here. I don't know.
I have non-scale victory. Oh, I know what my non-scale victory is this week. I have on size 8 Levi's.
Okay.
That's the non-scale victory for the week.
Go, Carrie.
Woo woo.
Which is unusual because mine are usually like all about my health. So this is a fun one.
That's a very fun one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that I didn't
tangible.
even try on, and they just magically fit.
I love it. But see, it's a tangible one, right? So when we talk about labs, that's like gratifying, like that's like, yes, I got my labs in order. But then when it's a pair of jeans, you're like, okay, you just feel like that girl,
Yes.
I love that. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Daisy?
So I am 55 years old, and I am married to my high school sweetheart. I have been on a GLP-1 for 18 months, starting semaglutide, going to tirzepatide. My non-scale victory is, in fact, it just happened the day before yesterday. Right now, I'm not home. I'm in St. Augustine, Florida. And my husband and I were going for sunset to the beach with our puppy. And we were sitting in those, first of all, I did not, it's kind of a 2-in-1 deal, 2-for-1 deal. I did not even think about the fact that I was about to sit in one of those low beach chairs. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, I just sat in the low beach chair. Then we were sitting there and I was holding my husband's hand, and he is my high school sweetheart. And we're, like I said, mid-50s now. And I was like, where the hell did my phone go? So, an old brain moment. I'm like, where'd my phone go? Where'd my phone go? And I saw it on the ground in the sand, and I jumped up and grabbed my phone, and I looked at him and I said, I just got out of that low chair, and I didn't even think about it. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's right.
Yeah. That's so
I used to have to roll over on my knees and
Yes.
Yeah.
That feeling. Well, number one, just sitting somewhere without the thought of, is this chair going to break? Am I going to fit in this chair? Is it going to dig into my hips? Right? Like, am I even going to fit? Like, there were so many thoughts that would cross our minds before we sat down anywhere. Right? So the fact that you sat down without thinking, and that you comfortably sat and then got popped up, that's win-win-win. That's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Also, Queen Jewel Erica, who was on the panel last week, I saw her put in the chat where she said, 55 where? Because, baby, you don't look 55.
Right.
You do not look 55.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I'm Mia. I come from TikTok, and I am I'm just looking to share my journey, and that's what I've always tried to do on that platform. And my non-scale victory for this week would be the progress that I've made with my therapist. Going to therapy, committing to therapy, and doing the work. So I'm doing the head and the heart work, as Shannon likes to say, and taking care of my needs just as well as I take care of other people's needs. So
that's right.
That's incredible.
That's major.
Like that's huge. It's huge. And I was kind of chatting with Mia prior to the panel, and I was telling her, getting to watch her because I came across Mia right in the beginning, like right when she came into this community, and getting to watch her transformation in real time has been incredible. Not even just physically, because baby, she looks good. Okay, so not even just that, but the rest of it, all of the rest of it has been like almost like a flower blooming. It has been so beautiful to watch that, Mia, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And as I was telling you, like it's crazy to experience it yourself, but also to have other people recognize that is truly just a joy, and it brings like some form of reassurance that I am on the right path.
You are.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You inspire me, Mama. Allie?
Hey, I'm Allie from Fit Flavor Fun on all the things. I am 40 years old, although I don't act like it. I own it. It's okay, because I am living the best life thanks to these meds. So I just did my calculation today, and I have lost 38.5% of my original. Yeah. I was floored. So I'm a type 2 diabetic, so that's like a double win because it's so much harder. And yeah, I just kind of get out there and get silly with it. I think that we all need a little bit of silly in our lives. And for my non-scale victory, I actually went to go pick up meds at the pharmacy, and someone just loved me so much that they parked right on top of me, which normally would have sent me into a panic because I would have been like, how am I going to get in my car?
Yep.
I'm going to have to crawl over. Am I going to be able to crawl over? I want you to know that I scooted through there and managed to get in. I felt like $1 million. You guys.
Thin mint, Allie. Thin mint.
I was taking a picture of it to post in my Facebook group to just be like, I fit in this tiny space. This is amazing. So anyway.
That's amazing. That's a huge win. That's a huge win.
Yeah. But that initial panic was like, now what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. John Henry?
Up to Argo. Allie, first of all, I wouldn't have handled it that way. So you are a great person for it to happen to. I'll say it that way. But hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Henri, 29, here on Health the Journey. Also Jean-Henri Lee on TikTok refugee. Started off with trying to make sure I don't say the wrong thing, try, and then moved to MJ later on. I think I said that right. So started my journey May of 23. As of 2 weeks ago, down 150. Just it seems crazy. It doesn't seem real, just being honest.
Yeah.
I guess you can call me a gym warrior. Yes, 2, 3 a.m. I'll be there.
Yes, I love that.
And then I guess it's kind of a part of kind of what I do on TikTok. I'm just trying to get men, especially men of color, just to kind of come together and talk about health. So it doesn't have to be about GLP-1, but just come together and let's talk about it. A lot of men in this, well, let's say the health space, they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
We're gonna, as Sabrina likes to say, we're gonna push you in the private way to say, hey, let's get our health together because we still want to see you around. And then my, I guess, non-scale victory this week is, it's kind of one of those things. This week kind of started off a little rough mentally. Sometimes we look at ourselves and it's so easy to look at all the bad things. So whether it's the loose skin or the whatever, it's so easy to focus on the bad things. So just being honest, I've been focusing on the bad things all week until, let's say, I had some people talk to me a few days ago, and today I decided to just stand in the mirror and say, you're doing something. And so today was that day where it just broke and said, you know what? We will take it all. We will love ourselves. It will, whatever we're going for, it shall come. A non-scale victory.
That's huge. That's huge.
Unfortunately, it's a hard thing to admit. That's what I'm trying to keep myself together. But I don't think people understand that it's not a physical journey. It is a mental as well. That's
why I do what I do. Like, I push constantly. It consumes me because that's all I think about. I want people to heal. I want people to heal. Because the medicine's going to do what the medicine's going to medicine, right? Like that's going to take care of the body, right? But we need to work on this. And I feel like that's what this panel, like almost like shared experiences, have a healing effect on me, because you guys have all said something and I'm like, oh, yes, yes. Like it's like validation almost, it makes sense because I stand and look in the mirror as well. And I'm like, whoa, you've done a number on yourself there, and I have to stop myself and say, look at what you've been through. Like this body that you've hated for so long, this body that you used to treat like crap. Look at what it's carried you through.
That's why we have communities, Sabrina, if you think about it. So we have communities that way. We're not alone, because when you're alone, those ideas, they fester. And then when we all come together, we just all heal. We all say, oh, I'm not the only one. I don't feel alone. We're all in this fight together.
Yes. Yes. And then you have me in your head be like, you need to love yourself.
And we need you. Because sometimes we want to call underneath the rock and be like, no. But hey, we need people like you lift up the rock and say, come on, we're growing.
Yep.
Because we can't grow underneath that rock.
What do they say? That the only way the only way out is through it.
Yes. That's right.
Yes.
So we got to go through it, and we should do it together. And I feel like this is that. So once again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
So.
You know, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
I like that.
I'm crying. I'm gonna start crying. We're like 34 minutes in. Thank you, Mia. No.
I need that on a shirt. That's all.
I love that. That's very much this community.
Yeah.
So, Miss Chanel.
Hey everybody, it's Chanel, your favorite accountability partner. I have been on GLP-1s for over 2 years, and I just started documenting my journey to share and inspire with other moms. Like when I became a mom, my body just broke down, just to be honest. I became high blood pressure, insulin resistant, arthritis. Like it just got really crazy. And so I just got on here to really inspire other moms that we can do it after, you have children, and lose weight and find yourself again and be your best self for you and your children and your family. So I really wanted to focus on healing my relationship with food and myself and the scale. So I encourage all my accountability partners to do the same. And I'm just, of course, happy to be here with all of you, because you guys are some of my favorites as well. But my 9-scale victory is, that I can sit crisscross applesauce. Like for a while. Finally, like I've been waiting on this for 2 years. It's been so painful just sitting in certain positions because I have arthritis. But now I can finally sit crisscross applesauce, get up and walk like a normal person. No more wobbly walking. And so I'm feeling really, really good and blessed.
That's incredible. That's such a huge, when you can't, because like physically, when that option gets taken away from you, and then given back, like it's a gift that it's hard to articulate, right? It's like,
it really is.
It's hard to even put it into words, like, because there was a time myself, like I couldn't physically do a lot of things, and now that I can, it's like, incredibly grateful. It's like that's like the mildest form of being able to describe it. It's such a blessing and such a gift. And you are such a powerhouse in this community. And you do so much for so many people, and inspire people. And thank you. Thank all of you.
Thank you.
One of you for what you guys do. It's this community wouldn't be what it is without you guys. So
thank you. And I love the way you catering to our GLP-1 babies. I love that. I love that. So thank you. Keep doing what you do, Sabrina, because you're the best welcome person that we have.
Because anyone who comes into the community, I'm like, hi, welcome to our community. And they're like, you're scary. I'm like, I'll take care of you. Come over here.
I love it.
So, yeah, like a protector of them, But yes, anybody who knows me knows how much this community means to me. And so for everyone else, my name is Sabrina, and I am 43 years old. I have been on a GLP-1 for 19 months now. I am down 34% of my body weight. Thank you. I have type 2 diabetes, obesity, and I had breast cancer. So I had some stuff going on medically for a while. But I have a whole new lease on life, and I'm just incredibly grateful. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just so, so grateful for this opportunity to have access to this medication, and the physical, emotional changes that it's brought.
Absolutely.
My non-scale victory, well, now I have two because of what Chanel was talking about. The first one was the arm challenge. So the arm challenge that, for those of you who don't know, I have put together, I do monthly challenges for the community. Sometimes it's not even physical. Sometimes, like, I don't know, November was like gratitude challenge, right? Like where you had to do it, like this stuff, and so this month is the arm challenge, and I've been consistent. I have been doing every single one of them, every single set. So my arms are jello. So that
Me too.
I feel like jello, they hurt so much, but I feel good. I feel accomplished, and we're only at day 7,
Yes.
So the arm challenge, and then also that you brought up, the sitting crisscross applesauce. I'm sitting up right now with my leg popped up on the chair that I could have never, and I'm doing that in jeans, right? Like,
yes, not the jeans.
like that would have never happened before. So that is also a non-scale victory that I didn't pay attention to.
Nice.
So, yeah, I feel good, guys. I feel good.
Yes.
I feel, and I was chatting, I don't know, maybe Tay, I was talking to, right now in this very moment, this very second, this is the best I have ever felt in my life. So even before my struggle with obesity, physically, mentally, like this is the very best. Like I'm 43 and finally thriving. Finally.
Oh,
Yep.
And that's been
right.
incredibly powerful for me.
Yes.
it is.
Incredibly powerful.
And I think that comes with when we, as content creators or people who inspire people, it comes with the responsibility, that we have here, because we have to hold ourselves, to a certain standard in order to expect people to do the same. So, just hearing your story, how hard you were on yourself before, and just seeing your transformation about how kind you are to yourself and of course to others, just been truly inspiring and something to admire and to watch for sure. So thank you for being transparent about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, I went through it, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I went through it. And at first I didn't really share too much of that side of me because it was bad. I mean, Mia, you and I have chatted about this. Like the self-talk was brutal. And but you guys, honestly, this community has helped heal that part of me. And anytime that comes up in my mind, because it creeps back in, let me tell you, that mean creeps back up. I'm like, let's shut that down real quick. So, it's an ongoing struggle, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I'm doing better.
I would have to agree with that, Sabrina. I have been the nicest that I have been to myself ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm less judgmental of myself. I'm less critical of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from
She's frozen for me. Is she frozen for you guys too?
Yeah, she's frozen. Yeah, she's frozen.
Okay, for the people in the chat, is she frozen for you guys as well? Oh, I got you back. I got you back. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
My internet. It comes from doing the work, and not only doing the work on your body, but doing the work on your head and your heart, and being the other people are holding us accountable to be kind to ourselves because we're being kind to them. Mm-hmm. So they expect that we are treating ourselves with the same type of respect that we treat other people. And I think that is what is, really, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
I agree.
It truly is. I was speaking with my son. He's in his mid-20s before this panel, and we were talking about what drives us to do these things, be content creators. And specifically, one of the things he and I discussed is I said, well, it holds me accountable. And also it makes me feel like I cannot be a hypocrite. I have got to honor my word. So, you know, if I am showing up and I'm saying we should do these things, well, guess what? Maybe I'm not perfect, but I am absolutely closer to doing the things and being, you know, there in that goal, because I cannot back down on my word. That cannot happen. So I think it's very powerful for us to show up, because we're showing up for ourselves and we're showing up for others. The last thing I'll say about the words that we speak, part of my platform is I'm a former educational therapist. I'm an ADHD coach. I talk a lot about the brain science, and there's incredible research and studies. It's super tangible that the words that are spoken have a physical effect. It's measurable, it's real. And this is why people who are in a bad environment, but the flip side is a good environment can be good too. But in a bad environment, it really affects the body's cells. But the good news is we can tell ourselves good things, and we can be around people like you, beautiful people, that uplift and encourage. And guess what that's doing? That is having a repair, process. And so, yeah, it's super physical too. And we're really lucky to be a part of this community. Yeah.
I think that people don't take that as seriously as they should. I know that, like, okay, so like this is kind of off the wall, but like Indian people are very, very like, they're crazy about things that like you can't say things like, oh my God, you're gonna die when you hear this. Like you cannot say those words, because you're like, you just don't say like you're like putting it out there, right? So like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like you cannot say that stuff, because it's giving it life almost, and so I was very much raised that way. And so when people say stuff like that, oh my God, you're gonna die when you hear this, I was, shut up, don't say that, or so like it's very I believe words have power. They do. They do. Your brain, and I mean, Daisy, you can speak to this, like all of you can. So when you say things negatively, even to just say it because you're in a bad mood or whatever, you just say, your brain doesn't know that you're kidding. Your brain doesn't know that you mean that. No. Your brain is just receiving, I'm this, so it's, we have to be very careful about how we speak to ourselves and the words we speak out loud.
Yeah.
They have power. They hold power.
And that's one thing I love about my friend group, because it creeps up on you, Sabrina. It creeps up on you. Next time they got to check you. So you got to be adult enough to be checked, because it'll just creep up on you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Very true. So, and I think that's important too, being adult enough to be checked.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
too. A little bit of thick skin goes a really long way. To permit your friends and family who love you to say the things that are truly going to help, So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've got my Jay and Tay that they check me all the time. I mean, all the time.
Tay checks all of us. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I think it's, the community aspect of it, right? Like I was on this journey for 2 years without the community and wasn't successful. What changed? Well, the medication I was on changed, but having the community changed. And that was the light bulb. That was, as much as the MJ shut the switch off in my brain, the community turned the lights on in my brain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
I love that, Carrie. Carrie is such a, I have to point this way, good friend to me. And Carrie, I'm wearing red, not only in honor of all the women, but in honor of my friend Carrie, who's been through so much with her heart. And Carrie, I was almost having a tear. And I mean, I was talking with Christine, we go to her lives in the morning, and we were celebrating the fact that you, Carrie, are here and are a gift to us. And thank you for persevering through your health. And I just want to say I'm wearing red for and in honor of you. So
thank you.
Very grateful for you, Carrie. Very grateful.
So much.
Yeah.
There's so much for this community. Shows up every single day. Every day.
Yeah,
Without-
she does. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We see you,
Yeah.
Mama. We appreciate you. We see you and appreciate you. So
We do.
So Carrie, I have a question for you, if you don't mind. What was it like not having a community? Because I don't know about anyone else, but there's always been a community or a growing one, some type of community in some type of way. So what was it like having nothing?
I didn't know anything, right? I didn't know any of the tips and the tricks, and I was sick for a year.
Oh,
every day.
wow.
Because it was doing what it was meant to be doing on my stomach, but it wasn't doing anything for my brain. So that connection was broken. And every time I would eat something, it was just nausea and indigestion and miserable. And when you have that food noise and nothing's shutting off the brain aspect, there's no path forward.
Right.
No.
So it was difficult. The second year wasn't as bad because I changed medications and didn't have the side effects, but it didn't do anything.
Yeah, because you went a while without losing weight, even
2 years.
Yeah, yeah. But you didn't give up, friend. You didn't give up.
Nope.
Yes.
And I got to the point that we were waiting to see if my insurance would approve Mounjaro, and I said to my doctor, if I have to go back on Ozempic, I will figure out how to do it.
Oh.
And she said, I'm not doing that to you.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm asking you to. These I will figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
True GLP-1 warrior.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that. Okay. Does anyone have anything before we start the questions? No? Okay, so this one is from Allie. Allie's question for the panel in the chat is, how has a GLP-1 affected your mental health? Good or bad?
I'll go. Or does Allie go, or you want?
However.
I'm in there. Go for it.
It's going to be quick and easy. Great. Immaculate. I was on depression to the point where, of course, postpartum depression. And I got to the point where I had to take depression medication. And, it was just miserable being on those medications. It's kind of zombie-like and very sedentary. Oh, gosh, it was horrible. So taking this medication, I mean, from the first day, it was like just gone. I don't know if it was gone or if I was filled or what. I don't know, but complete transformation. Now I'm up doing stuff like a normal person, moving around and having mental, of course, good physical health, but good mental capacity to intake what is actually happening in my adult life. So it's been great for me.
I love that though.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It was some dark times.
Next. It was that postpartum too. It'll get you. That can be very serious.
Very.
Yeah. It comes at the worst time because you have to not only care for yourself, but an infant that can't do anything for itself. That's well, I'm glad to hear that. So for me, same, I am doing so well as far as mental clarity goes, which I think is pretty fascinating. When you go into menopause and that estrogen goes down, it can cause brain fog. And I'm not accustomed to that, not at all. So I was like, what in the world? I think I call it the trifecta, my GLP-1, my bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which is a very personal choice. You research it yourself. I'm just saying, I do it. And then the third is I've been on hypothyroid medication for 30 years, but I'm on a compounded now version of T3, T4, which is amazing. So that's my trifecta. Mental clarity, I think, is probably coming from all of those things, not one.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, as far as the depression goes, you know, I mentioned I do a lot of research on the brain stuff. The American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry did an amazing study of over 2,000 geriatric participants. So, okay, they were older, but this was an examination of GLP-1 for people who had diagnosed depression, over 2,000 people. And this is a pretty recent study. I want to say in the last 3 or 4 years. I have to go back and look. I did a post about it and I took a screenshot of the study. But the point is that there was a predominant number of participants who saw the same thing as you did, a relief of their depression.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not to say that there are not people who would have a counteractive effect. Obviously, there can be people who do, in fact, have the reverse. Now, is it because of the GLP-1? The causation has not been nailed down.
Mm-hmm.
But 2,000 participants is a lot, and it was a double-blind study, so it's pretty, dependable, those results.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good news, I think.
That was random.
We'll take it. Buy the book. Dave's book is awesome. Buy it.
Buy the book.
But yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what happened, but my mistake. Apologies.
It's okay. But yeah, I'm feeling good, and I hope that there needs to be so much more research. This is all, taking a look at what it's doing for the brain is all very emerging science.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a ton out there, and so I do hope that people will have more of a positive experience than negative. But yeah, I think it's going to be very personal experience.
I agree with that. I used to struggle with anxiety, and it completely gone. I mean, almost like a light switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I feel good. I don't feel anxious. So it's for me, it's been a definite it's been a positive experience for me.
I will say for me it was a bit of both. So in the beginning, it was when the food noise shut off. That was a weird sensation that I had to then deal with my own issues without food.
Mm-hmm.
And so it did take a little bit of getting used to, like, what is this world? And I don't have food to deal with it. So how do I navigate it? But once I started, going down the path of, I've been in therapy for a very long time. But not having food to deal with my problems was a new situation. So getting used to that fact has been a challenge, but it's been a welcome one, and one that I have been able to navigate and work through, and actually deal with my problems head on rather than just, eating my way around the problem.
Baby, you are singing my song. You are singing my song. Because prior to, anytime I felt anything, joy, anger, I was stressed out, anxiety, any feeling that I had, I was eating it. And then that's not even physically possible on Mounjaro or a GLP-1. Like, I physically could not do that. So then when all these emotions were hitting me, I was like, I have to feel my feelings. So there was a lot of work that started to happen that was that I didn't know. I guess that's what my part is. I didn't know that there was so much that needed to happen. So
It was very uncomfortable at first.
Yes.
Yeah. But once I realized, like, if I just sit with the feeling for a minute, then it goes away. I don't have to like keep reliving it over and over and over like I was doing when I was relying on food to push it away.
Right. Don't run.
So deal with it, that one time, or, and then move on from it. And it doesn't have to consume me. I think that's the biggest thing that I realize, is that the feelings don't have to consume you. They just have to be felt, be worked through, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you hit on a good topic. So just because I'm trying to get emotional about it, I'm going to make some jokes about my own personal journey, but I understand what you mean. Unfortunately, the pen sucked. And I'm saying that because it took away I know it sounds terrible, but it took away so much. So the dopamine you'll get from eating, it's just like, okay, well, I have to deal with, I don't know how to deal with stuff. So at least with me personally, we're just going to say it this way. I threw myself into the quote unquote 3 kings. If you know what 3 kings are, then you know what it is, but we ain't gonna talk about it. And then not getting dopamine from that as well. So you're just like, well, what do I do? And that's where you have to really sit in your mental health and say, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. Also, is this a hormone imbalance? What's going on? Is there, any irregularities? What's going on? So you have to really, it makes you find yourself. It takes you away from everything that you're using to cope, to just find you and narrow in on you and hone in on you and make you better. Which, like I said, I don't like that. Oh, I really do. I do like it, but it's a hard process.
Yeah.
So when you guys brought up the dopamine hit, for me, right when I started, I was looking for that dopamine hit, and I was finding it in the gym. And so then it became, I'm just going to say it. I believe it was a transfer addiction, because it went from food and then it became the gym. And I was like, this like dopamine hit, and then I'm like, oh, well, because I was tearing up my knees, tearing up my back, and, shins. And I was like, settle down, Sabrina, so then it transferred to like a shopping addiction. And so I'm like, I need therapy. Like, I have got to get to the root cause of this, because fix it. Fix it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I want to get better.
And I think for me, it was kind of wild because I didn't realize that there was anything, like I always thought, I have all of this trauma in my life, but I'm so together. I've got it all together. I'm good. And then I realized, no, you just have super high functioning depression. You're not okay. You can just mask everything. And then the shot and the dopamine hit going away and all of those coping mechanisms going away. I was like, I feel better, but what is all of this stuff up here that I haven't dealt with? Going back to childhood and my heart attack and like all of these things that I just said that word out loud. Carrie a year ago just didn't talk about the fact that it had happened. Because if I didn't talk about it, it wasn't real.
Yep.
And I could push that all away. Now I can't. And I can't say I'm taking control of my health and not deal with the heart and the mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's all
one body.
Yep.
And we only get this one.
We only get one.
Yep.
Right.
I know. Darn it.
Yeah.
Darn.
I was really looking forward to that upgrade.
AI hasn't figured that out yet.
What
I checked ChatGPT, but I'm pretty sure the answer is still no.
Fix it.
Man.
Does anyone have anything else on that one?
Yes. So when I first started out, I had panic attacks, and I could not figure out what was going on. Because before MJ, I had anxiety, but it was not to this level. So I hit the streets. I was doing the research. I was trying to figure out what's going on. Who's experiencing this? Is this normal? Do I need to call my doctor? Like, just going through the things, and no one was talking about it.
Wow.
We're talking about non-scale victories. We're talking about the great things and all this, but no one was talking about, hey, I'm really struggling. What are we doing about it? And so I just started documenting it and worked through therapy and worked through building those coping techniques to address, okay, I don't have the food. I don't have the dopamine. Now what do I turn to? Now I've got a whole new set of problems because I have, shopping addiction. But that's okay. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. So it was really this evolution of really struggling at the beginning, and now to just have this peace and mental clarity. Like you were talking about, Daisy, with the fog, mental clarity, the ADHD. I mean, I'm still off the chain, don't get me wrong, but I can focus so much better now. So much better, so much more productive. And when I have those emotionally intense moments, I now have the skill set to work through it. And that's why I am a firm believer that I think that therapy should be a requirement when it comes to taking these meds, because there are so many people that would benefit. And I didn't even know that I was one of those people until I became one of those people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of people. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just love that you were proactive. You were proactive in the face of panic attacks. So panic attacks, they try to bully you into pushing you into a corner and saying, sit down and shut up. And panic attacks are trying to do that to you. And you said, yeah, you know what? No, thanks. And the fact that you sought therapy in the face of it is awesome. Yeah. It's a great reminder for people. If that's happening to you, as hard as it is, you got to put one foot in front of the other. You have to do it. So.
Yeah.
And I think you're so right, Allie, but I think one of the challenges there, right, is people have a really hard time finding therapists that are accessible, affordable,
right,
and are a fit for them and can understand, right? Because there's so many of us in this community that have ED trauma, BD trauma, BED trauma, like all of these things. Finding the right person is not. I think I have interviewed about 7 therapists at this point. I haven't found one yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, as a side note, finding somebody who focuses on those things is hugely helpful. So for anybody out there that's struggling, that's looking, if you find somebody whose focus is those, they have a perspective and an empathy that is just profound. And for me, at least, it was very helpful.
Yeah, it's great.
Congratulations. Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that therapy, especially, so I've said this before, but I feel like if you're over the age of 20 or 30 here, we come from a generations where mental health wasn't a priority. It wasn't a real thing. It was pull up your big girl panties or, stuff it down and keep moving. Right. So if you're over the age of 30, baby, you're walking around with some kind of unresolved trauma. You are walking with something because we never talked about it. We never addressed it. We never processed things. It was just stuff it down and keep it moving. When I started therapy, I was like, ooh, it's a mess in there.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Kind of like, oh, there's a lot. I think everyone, I think it's something to try. I think it's something
For sure.
Agreed.
Yeah. I wish it was accessible, and I wish that it was a requirement for being an adult.
Yes.
Yes.
You know?
Bingo.
Yeah.
And I wish that everyone had access to free therapy, you know, and they could get that. But it just, I don't know.
Because currently Daisy is my TikTok therapist, and that's not really fair to her.
I love it though. Lean in on your friends sometimes, you know.
Yes.
You
I mean,
have to.
everyone-
This is
yeah.
all we have sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Who better to understand you than somebody who's in the thick of it with you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ask Jay. He is quite literally my unwilling therapist, unwilling best friend, unwilling therapist, unwilling everything.
Jay, blink if you're okay. If you need to blink.
He's tired of me. He's tired of me.
She
Jay
keeps
took
him in
a-
the closet.
Jay took
She
an
locked him
internet
in her
break, and
closet.
Sabrina still got him on the internet.
Right.
So.
Poor
He had
guy.
to leave the whole internet because of Sabrina. Dang.
It's terrible.
Oh my
And then I still stalked him afterwards.
Well, he's that good. He's
Yeah.
that good. You had to
He
chase him
is.
down.
He is. He really is. He's awesome.
Yes, he's been like almost the center of my GLP-1 journey, and he's like the GLP-1 Buddha in my
Yes.
he's wise
Buddha.
beyond his years, and
He really is.
he makes you question your own thoughts and, well, why do you feel that way? Like, where's that coming from? You know? And I'm like, ugh, just let me be mad. And he's like, no, I want to know why. And I'm like, oh, fine.
Let me
But,
feel what
Don't
I'm feeling.
therapize
I don't wanna
me.
dig into it.
yeah. So he'll be back soon. So I'll get him back up here. Unwillingly, but he'll come back. Okay. Does anyone else have anything for Allie's question, and then we can move on, or are we good? Okay.
Great question.
So, John's question, I love this one because it kind of got me in my feels for a long time. I was in my feels about it. So I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it, but like, why do we feel like giving up sometimes, right? Like, is it because we're in a constant fight with our bodies and we get tired? Like, if so, how do we combat the health fight fatigue with, GLP-1s and improving one's health, like that fight? Because this is an active choice every single day. So I was so much in my feels. I was texting Tay, and I was like, and she's like, it's true, because people who don't have obesity or don't have all these metabolic dysfunctions eat and don't think anything about it, right? Like, every single day for us is an active choice to fight, because we all know now, because science has told us, when you start to lose weight, your body is clawing its way back up to that high weight set point, right? So like, it slows down your metabolism. It does everything it can to make you go back to that safe weight, right? So it is a fight. And so my mind was just reeling when I was thinking about this. What are your guys' thoughts about what's something we can do to combat that?
I'm sorry. And Sabrina, can you say the question one more time, please?
Sure. I kind of threw, like, I just started talking a lot.
Just a little bit.
Focus, Sabrina, focus. Okay, I'm just going to read it without my input. So, why do we feel like giving up sometimes? Is it because we are in a constant fight with our bodies and we get tired? If so, how do we combat the health fight fatigue with GLP-1 and improving one's health fight?
I think if we stop thinking about it as a fight.
Okay.
Well, like, we're not working against our bodies. Well, we're working with our bodies.
Mhm.
And so if we stop thinking about it as a fight, then you don't get as tired. You don't get, worn down. You don't need a break from all of this, right? It's more like working with your body and embracing the stall, because you've hit another point where your body has to get used to it, and in order to work through that, in order to start seeing Bruno go down. And so I think at least starting from a place of, it's not a fight, it's a cooperation between you and your body and your mind, and getting them all aligned on one accord, and then giving yourself, yes, the grace that it is okay that I am paused right now, but that is my body making a more progress in this journey, and I'm going to embrace that.
Right. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Mia was saying. I compare it to like people, a lot of people are developing severe dairy allergies, gluten allergies, and they've been eating that stuff for 20 years, 40 years. And they're just finding out, hey, I'm severely allergic to this, or I shouldn't be eating this, and I don't feel my best when I'm eating these things. Even me, I wasn't feeling my best when I was eating meat. So I changed to more pescatarian diet. And there's no use in trying to fight your way to continue to eat dairy and continue to eat this way when it's not working for you. Babes, it's okay to switch it up and change it. You've been doing this for 40 years. It's not working for you. And it sucks. But what are you going to do? Keep beating your body up? Right. Because you want to eat a little dairy, because you want to eat this, or you want to do this? No, work, like Mia said, work with your body. Work with it. So now it's time to just put your big girl panties on and just do the work. So yeah, definitely it's an everyday fight, but it's so worth it when you get that the freedom and the joy to more indulge in things that you need to indulge in, and things that you really enjoy and should be consuming, and that's better for you, your mental health, your body, and all those things. So I definitely agree, what you were saying, Mia.
Well, and I think off of what Chanel said and what Mia said, and Mindy actually said something in the chat about the diet culture feels bubble back up, right? And I remember my first diet, I was 12. It is a very strategic mental shift that I do not look at this as a diet. There is no restriction. If I want to eat a piece of pizza, I'm going to eat a piece of pizza. So I think how you deal with that fatigue is how you look at the journey, right? It's not, I'm not fighting myself, because now, thanks to the medication, my body is working with me for the first time. Right. So I think some of it's like the mindset, right? And
it's all a mindset. Actually.
I struggle with the saying, oh, well, it's not a diet. And I'm like, well, but let's take the negative connotation away from the word diet. A diet is the food you fuel your body with.
Exactly. Yep.
Diet culture is a problem.
Right.
But a diet is just nutrition.
Right.
Right.
And if you can see a dietitian, please do. Just know, use all of the tools. Because if you use all of the tools, you're going to put everything together, and then it becomes the discipline that the medication makes easier to have, right? Because some of that's outside of our control with the medication. You just can't. And some of it is, motivation goes away. Motivation is what gets crushed by that fight with yourself. The discipline and having a plan and sticking to your plan is what kind of I find helps me through, and making sure I'm not treating myself like I'm restricting. And yeah, Jay, the time pressure. I'm just like, I don't even know what my goal is. How can I have time to hit it? I don't know what it is.
So, like, speaking of the time pressure, I feel like that is like some arbitrary number that we select for ourselves that puts undue pressure on ourselves. And then if you don't hit it, then you have this almost like feelings of defeat for something that you set up in your own head, right? Like, so in the chat, my husband just put, there is no finish line. This is a lifelong
forever.
So these time constraints are they necessary? And I get it. Some people are like, oh, I want to hit Wonderland, or I want to do this by a certain point, but just be careful with what goals you set. Just be careful, because at the end of the, because before, okay, prior to me, because I used to weigh myself way. And that's why this is beyond the scale, because I would be doing all the things, hitting the gym, the protein, the calories, everything. And then I would get on the scale, and then I was down like, I don't know, 1 pound, and I was devastated by it. All this hard work, everything that I had put in. And I'm like, this measly 1 pound. And he was like, what's the hurry? This is quite literally the rest of your life. Who cares if it's 1 pound right now? Like, what's the time situation that you have going on in your head?
Right.
Like, oh, that makes sense.
Sabrina, can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So it depends on different people's circumstance. Because although, yes, there's not a time thing on it, some people might feel that way if you're dealing with now access. And so,
good point.
A new question, kind of to what you were saying. And I'm not trying to add in a question to a question, but
no, that's please.
Now you got to figure out first of all, I'm not trying to get into certain things, but how do we make a plan to where access doesn't limit our time?
Yeah.
That's very true. Because I was chatting today about this, because my biggest fear since day one on this journey has been access.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has it has held more power in this journey than it should have. Dosing, the choices that I've made have all stemmed from access. And that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
That was me at the beginning of my journey. That's why I was like, I need to hurry up. And then
that's how I was like, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, as soon as I got that PA, I was like, baby, I got 12 months. Like I was, and then I said that, I'm not kidding. I said, I got 12 months to change my whole life.
Right.
And I had this almost manic energy behind it. And when I tell you, I was like, I haven't wasted one day. It was every single day I showed up, and I went hard. I mean, I went hard, because I'm like, this is, do you know you have 30 minutes? like that. That's what was driving me, because I said, I have 12 months of access.
Well, because I think that mental shift goes from the fear of, this isn't going to work, nothing else is work.
Yes.
To,
now you have something.
Oh my God, it's working. But when does it get taken away from me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want the rug. Yeah, we don't want the
when
rug
do
to
I
be
lose
pulled.
it? And like, I think about this, right? Because yes, I'm on name brand. I have a PA. Thanks, diabetes. You did something good for once. But like, I talk to all of these people, right? Who they hit goal, their A1C comes down, and even they're losing access. And I'm like, okay, what do we do? All right. Well, every time a pharmacy will let me fill a prescription, I'm going to fill it. I don't care what dose it is.
Yes.
And, oh, well, I mean, I could do compound, and I guess, well, generic liraglutide's not that expensive. Like, these are the thoughts, like the food thoughts gone. Now I'm like, what are all of the options? How does this not go away?
Access panic.
I know my body without this just goes backwards.
Yes. And if you're not in the community, you don't understand, because it looks like people are, I gotta be careful what I'm saying. Like I said, they look like they are quote unquote addicted to it, but they are not. they understand what it is doing for their body, and so they don't want to lose access, so they are fighting for access. They're not addicted to it. They know how it makes their body feel, especially if it's regulating your hormones. So why would you want to lose that? Why would you just willingly say, "Oh, here you have back insurance company"? No, we need it.
Yeah.
We know what our bodies were like when we didn't have it, and we know how hard we worked. You know, I did a post that I never put out there because it was too edgy, and it had like an angry edge to it, and I don't want to put that out there, so I deleted it. But what it was it was me mocking the doctors that I had seen over 30 years, and it was going into their office and saying, let me tell you that I've documented everything that I've eaten. Yes, I've done that. And let me tell you. And it was them going, oh, really? Oh, oh, is that so really? You know, because for 30 years, we did do the things, but it doesn't work. Our bodies don't work. This is a medical condition. And so not having access does, in fact, mean that our bodies are going to attempt to go back to that homeostasis, which is not a good homeostasis. So it's very serious. But I think the question you asked too was, why do we want to quit, right? Why do we want to quit? And I wanted to address that for a second. You know, again, I think of the people that I work with all the time, ADHD. Okay, they're more inclined to avoid, to have procrastination. Task initiation is hard, but really even neurotypical brains, avoidance is a thing. And it's like, well, what is the root cause of avoidance? Why do any of us hold back on the things that we know we should do, that are right to do? And it's like you have this decision tree that comes off of that avoidance, and it's one it can be both of the following. And this is the dangerous thing. When you have both at the same time, it's not a good mix. If you have fear of failure and fear of success at the same time, you are immobilized. You are just sitting there and not doing anything, which ultimately is failure, because you're like, well, if I just avoid it, then I won't fail. Well, guess what? You're failing. Then you think, but if I do it and I succeed, oh my gosh, what does that mean? And when it comes to GLP-1, what does success look like? Well, for a lot of us, it's being in a smaller body. And if after 30, 40 years, you have not been in a smaller body, there can be avoidance there and fear there, because you're like, I don't even know what the heck that means to live like that. So lots of emotions, right, that go into this. Yeah.
That's so true. Like all of that makes so much sense. It's just like resonating with me, you know?
Yeah.
Because being on this journey has been terrifying for me. I've never been in a smaller body. So I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah.
So
and we're telling you like your legs are hot. We're telling you like you have like awesome legs, you know? And you're like, what?
That's
it's weird, right? It's
It is very, for me, it's very uncomfortable feeling, because the last time I was even close to this size, I had a stroke. And so I still have some lingering trauma from the stroke, obviously. And well, not obviously.
Obviously.
But you know, I have to work through that. And I think part of me, you know, kind of being in a stall is a lot of that fear that I have surrounding that, and getting down to a certain weight that I've only seen right when I had a stroke. And I just have fear around that. And so I have to, you know, this is the first time I've actually said that out loud. And so that's, you know, the first step, but I also have to do the work and work through that.
For sure.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you
Wow.
for sharing that. And
Yeah.
we are so glad that you are here with us tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty big deal. It's a very big deal. Yeah. You know what I like to ask people? The question I ask people when they say that they are afraid of success is, well, then can you describe for me what the alternative to that success is?
I was going to say that, Daisy.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about we just talk about that? What does
Yeah.
What
the
is it?
future look like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, being an OG like in the community, I remember before when a lot of people got to goal, you know, they were just speaking about things that they weren't happy about. And you know, the perception from, you know, people who haven't made it to goal were like, oh my God, like, you know, you're still not gonna be happy, you know, when you get to
Never
goal.
enough.
It's never enough, exactly. So I decided to, you know, to change that narrative. And, you know, it would be nice to have a little nip and tuck here and there. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
one, I can't afford it. But then two, I'm okay. I worked this hard and got, you know, these great trophies here to give up on myself or not love myself. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? I love that. Yeah.
It's powerful. It's a mind shift, right? Like everything at the end of the day is going to be a mind shift. Because
Yeah.
kind of like going back to his question, like for me, I was looking at it as a fight. It's not a fight.
It's your life.
I have to shift my mindset because I very much had that mentality of this is because we fought for so many years. That's what it
and
is.
I think the other part of that, Sabrina, is when it's, you know, like at the end of the day, I think all of us here would say, you know, there's a large portion of this that is about our health. And so we are actively fighting for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a fight, but it's not fighting ourselves. And that differentiation is hard because we have fought against ourselves for so long. And now we're fighting for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like to say that I'm on a quest.
Okay.
And for the first time in my life, I'm not fighting myself. I'm the warrior and I'm on the quest and I'm seeking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeking the health. I'm seeking the improvement. I'm seeking the non-scale victories.
Yeah.
I'm on a quest. So I'm not fighting myself. So I don't ever have to give up on myself. Because I'm in it to win it.
That's right.
Let's do this. Let's go. And
Allie, can I borrow that? I like quest a lot more than I like journey. I hate when people say journey. So can we co-op?
Yes,
Quest?
and please use quest. Side quest is great. Like when you hit a hiccup, you've got that stall going. Lean into it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get there.
That's
It's
great.
not
I love it.
necessarily about your destination. It's about everything you learn on the way. And in the beginning of my quest, I didn't realize how powerful that was going to be. So for me, I don't have to worry about giving up on myself. Some days are harder than others, but it's all just going in the book of my quest.
That's right.
So love that question.
Yeah. That was a really good one. Okay, so this one is from Mia. Having started this journey and realizing that we can do hard things, what is something that you've done that you've never tried before? Mia, I want you to go first on this one. Because I'm so impressed. I am so impressed.
Well, I have always been someone who wanted to be a crafts person. Like I love interior design. I wanted to design my own things. So after a lot of soul searching and hard work, I decided that I was going to build a 13-foot bookcase.
Nice.
And I have done that. I have built the thing. It is standing. It is still yet to be painted and all that, but it's
magnificent is what it is.
It is standing.
Wait, like you made your own wood and everything?
Yes, I cut the wood. I bought wood from Lowe's. I cut the wood. I used power tools.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I just couldn't get past the needing everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, I wouldn't even start projects. And I learned that, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I've never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about the journey. Sorry, Carrie. Of
I say it too. I'm gonna.
So do I. It annoys me when I say it.
The journey. It's like it's a part of me. I gotta do it. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's really about the journey and putting things into action and seeing them come to fruition. And I'll tell you that I've never been more proud of myself.
Yes.
I
love those words.
It's on her TikTok. It's on your TikTok, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's on her TikTok. Everyone go find it on her TikTok. It's
okay.
Seeing that I've never been more proud of myself. And every day when I walk past it, I get to look at it and be like, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I said, every single update that you post about this, I'm like, could you send it to me? It just made me so it's about showing up, right? For yourself and believing in yourself and then showing up for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't come out perfect. I mean, I think it did, but it's Mia, you showed up for yourself.
Mia is our very own GLP-1 Bob Vila.
I love it,
That's
Mia.
amazing.
Yeah. It is. It's pretty awesome if I do say so myself, and I am someone who wouldn't normally say that, but it has not only affected my home life, but it's also affected my life at work, so I'm not someone who would just run and jump into a project. I'd have to think about it and do all the things and have a plan and know where it was going and, do all these things. And that would keep me from starting a project. I would be, stuck in that analysis paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, yes, Justice, I use knee pads for something. And I've totally switched how I think about how I go about doing things at work. And so it's really been kind of life-changing. Who knew a bookcase could be so life-changing?
I love that.
That's so
okay.
good.
Make me one. Make me one.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Got orders.
Put an order in.
Do we do custom installs yet, Mia?
I've learned a lot, and I can do yours way better than I did mine. So
I love that. So this for me is not it's not a physical thing like building a bookshelf, but I've recently shared with the community that I struggle with a lot of I struggle with self-worth, and that's something that I'm really, really trying to work on. And so one thing that I've never really done was believe in myself. And that's changed. That's changed. And now I do. Now I do. I believe that I can. And of course, there are days that I struggle and I'm like, Jay and Tay, help me, and I finally have started to show up for myself. I've made myself a priority, and
Good.
I want to get better, I want to heal. So, and now I'm doing that. So that's something that I never thought that I was going to do.
Wow.
Look at you.
Yeah.
If
is-
you saw yourself the way we all see you.
Yes.
Talk about it. And you're so nurturing. It's such a mind F, because I'm like, oh my God, you're so nurturing. You're the sweetest person.
Mm.
But you're you were the meanest to yourself. I can't even fathom it. But I'm so glad you're on a journey to healing.
Of course, to get better. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, for so long, everything. So for me, my self-worth was wrapped up in the size of my body. And I struggled with that. I struggled with guilt and shame, and I was embarrassed, and I was like, I hate to say this out loud, but I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, you're so pathetic. You're so weak. It was a moral failing for me. When coming into this community and learning what I have, I realized it was never a moral failing. It was a metabolic dysfunction. And my worth as a human, as a mom, as a wife, as a person, just Sabrina, a human existing, has nothing to do with the size of my body.
Nothing.
Exactly. I feel that so much, Sabrina. I also struggled with, I still struggle with self-worth. I've made a lot of progress in my self-worth, but it was all wrapped up in how I looked, the actual size that I was, because I heard, you would be so pretty if you just lost weight. Or
you have such a pretty face.
Yeah. Yes. I heard that countless times by my mom. And so those are, and I took her words to heart. I took them and it became a part of who I was, and that's how I identified. Like, I would be pretty if I lost weight. And I think at some point it became a big FU to say, well, I'm not going to lose weight. But also because you shouldn't say that to anyone,
Right.
let alone your child. So it became something that I felt, it became ingrained in me, and I'm starting to shed that identity and become the person that I always was. But I felt that I had this weight upon me that I couldn't be who I was because I wasn't a smaller size. So now my body is starting to become that, but I'm also letting go of that identity.
Yeah, like what you said, the person who you always were. People can mask that with all the things that they put on top of other people, but just letting your true light shine, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It's been amazing to witness.
Seeing Mia come out her shell.
Right? I was just going to say that. Mia's been on the panel forever, right? So like the first couple of times, just how locked up and like physically even, she was like locked up, like her face and everything. And just getting to watch that happen has been, yes, getting to watch that happen has been so gratifying. Does anyone else have something that they would like to add to Mia's question?
I feel like I had like reverse side effect. I feel like before, when I was big, I had the big head, and now, you know, losing all the weight, now it's like everything's gone. I'm stripped of everything. But I would say definitely just being here with you guys. I tell this story a lot, but I sat here for a whole summer, like in 2012, learning how to do makeup because I wanted to get on YouTube, and I was going to start my YouTube channel and start content creating. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and I just never did it. I bought, you know, all the materials and everything. I don't even know if it was confidence. I don't know what it was. I just could never muster up whatever it is to just get on here and do it. And, you know, now after all this, you know, has happened, I finally have done it. So just being here with you all today is something I never would imagine that I've actually do. And then now it's been 2 years consistently, and I just ventured on into YouTube. So make sure y'all subscribe. But yeah, so it's amazing.
I love that. Yeah, I look at Eric. Now look at you.
Just can't stop talking on the internet.
Oh my God, for real, you just let me go, and I'll go and go and go, and it's like, settle down, Sabrina, settle down.
Not all of the words have to come out.
Right, all of the words, you know, in my brain. There's not one thought that goes through my head that you guys haven't heard twice. Speaking to that, Chanel, I was texting with Corey. We on a maintenance minute. Minute.
Love Corey.
Oh, love her. So she was. We were kind of chatting about how when, like back in the past, when someone would take a picture or something, we would like avoid it, right? Like we would hide, we'd get behind people, and now we're searching for those very pictures to post on Beyonce's internet.
Right.
I was like, that's kind of wild to think about.
I'm like, why don't I have any pictures of myself?
Well, Daisy, because you did that like around the holiday, right? You had this thing where we had every single one of my Christmas pictures, I was hiding behind the girls. Like I put my kids in front of me, or I'd hide somewhere, and you'd get my head, right? And then this past Christmas, I had all these pictures where I was on the end. I wasn't hiding behind anyone, you know, and that's when I started thinking, I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like that shift, that difference. It's been such a wild ride.
I think I was asking people to put their photos out there and do hashtag out front, you know, because we weren't out front. We were behind. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Brian
that.
dropping the gems in the chat like he's up here gonna make me cry.
What did you say?
I just love seeing everyone discovering that they were the superhero they were looking to save them all along.
Oh, I love that. I do love that. We've always had it inside us, guys. Finding it is it's probably been one of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Yes.
I mean, we were never giver-uppers. we how many times did we restart and restart and restart?
Resilient,
you know,
right?
The tenacity and the strength, being driven. I mean, strong, brave. We're all those things because we wouldn't have gone through cycles. You know what? If we were weak, we would have done it once and never again.
That's right.
How many times did we do it? How many times?
Yeah.
Get up, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay coming in with one of his questions. Did we always have it, or did we have to build it?
Okay.
My family would say I always did because I was a pain in their butt from day one. There's a photo on a farm in Pennsylvania. I think I'm like 6 years old, and my uncle, who was a teenager, real tall. I mean, he's like 3 times my height, and he's trying to get a hot dog off the grill. And I'm leaning forward, pointing at him, going, "Don't you touch that hot dog. They're not done yet." So I've always had an intensity. I know I have. And I think that is what made it hurt more, because I know what I feel like inside, which is a fire, which is why I started being a teacher 30 years ago. That's where I started my career. I had a fire because I wanted to help and uplift people. I want people to feel the strength I believe I feel inside. And I've had a ton of adversity. I had teenage parents. My life has been pretty interesting, you guys. But I know I have this fire and drive. And I was so sad and angry and frustrated that I could not crack the code on this one thing. And it's like, what the heck, you know? And I think it made it worse. I think it made my pain worse, you know, because of it.
And I think to Jay's question, I think part of it is that it was there. We had it in ourselves because we did fight, and you know, we were never all of the things people have told us we were.
Yeah.
But we needed a key to unlock it. You know, we had to find, to use Allie's analogy, we had to find the map to start the quest.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm laughing because Jay, I don't know why, but when you said that, I'm thinking about The Wiz or The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it was always there the entire time. They just didn't know, and they had to go through so much adversity. They had to go through a lot just to get to I wouldn't say the end, but just to get to a spot and someone tell them you always had it. And I'm going to say the person behind the mask is Darium. I'm going to need Darium.
Darium's AI. Okay, we all know that he's not a real person.
Starting this course, but I'm just saying, getting tired of him being behind a mask. We're ready to meet you, Darium. ATL meetup. Anyway, I'll be cool.
That's great. But okay, hold on. So did everyone go for Mia's question? I think everyone, right? Whoever said. That's funny. Okay, so this one is Chanel's question. Chanel asked, why is or was it so hard to ask for help?
Mia, I don't like the way you move.
Mia said,
Mia, damn.
Like, oh hell.
I'm gonna go for this one. I didn't know I needed it because it was never. I just looked at myself as a failure. I looked at myself. I didn't think to ask for help because it was my fault. I was the loser. I was pathetic. I was weak. It was never let me find out, is there a metabolic dysfunction? It was all internalized. It was all internalized to being what is, none of it's true. None of it's true. So
I think kind of the opposite of what Sabrina said for me. Why was it so hard to ask for help? Because I had asked for help over and over and over again and just got told, you need to eat less, move your body. Are you exercising? Yeah. What do you think I'm doing?
Right. Like they're speaking something that we haven't been trying for our entire life.
Never heard that before.
Right. Riveting.
Yeah. See, it's that look, Sabrina, that I kept making, and I was like, I can't put this post out there. But it is. That's exactly the look. You know, Carrie, thank you for saying that, because that's my story too. It's like I would go and say to the doctor, you know, rewind. I'm in my early 20s, 30 years ago, and I gained 50 potatoes in 1 year. I was not big at that point. I was not. In 1 year, I became big. And I go to the doctor and say, I didn't do anything differently. It turned out that I had an enlarged thyroid. And so I had I had a lump on my neck. That coincided with the gains. And so anyway, but before they figured that out, I got the same looks from the doctors. You know, when I said, I haven't changed anything, like what's going on? That's when the looks began. And those looks, I saw the same ones from change the face of the doctor, but the look was the same for 30 years.
Yep.
It's a bunch of BS crap that we had to put up with. It's not okay. But guess what? We're here today and we are feeling good.
That's
And
right.
I feel like all those doctors that made those faces, well, guess what? Go back to school. Go back to school.
I mean,
They need to read Dave's book.
Right. Well, science.
Yeah, they need to read Dave's
science
book.
has surpassed your statement, right? Like that's just science has surpassed those statements at this point. So it's
the book. There's the book.
Buy the book.
That's it.
I want to buy copies of the book and leave it in doctors' offices.
Oh, that's
There you go.
Doctor,
That's
whoever
Oh my
told me.
gosh.
There was someone in the community. I think it was maybe Jennifer, Nebraska, in the OTP community. Somebody bought 25 and handed them out to everyone. Which I'm like, that's
I remember her
that's a
saying
great
that in
idea.
Discord.
Hmm?
I remember her talking about that in Discord. Yeah.
Wow.
Asking like GLP-1 propaganda, like boom, boom, take a book.
Yeah, it's just frustrating for me. You know, I get very, very like angry, and I got to figure out how to let this go, because this class of medication has been around for 20 years. Think about, just take a step back and think about how many lives could have been saved. Obesity is linked to what? 13 different cancers?
Right.
Think about, my life would have been vastly different had someone had one doctor said obesity is a disease.
Right.
One doctor.
So, and I have that same anger, Sabrina, because I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic at 19, so 2001. I had a heart attack at 28, so 2014. Byetta came out in 2006. I found a research paper about treating people post cardiac arrest and heart surgery with GLP-1s that was dated 2012. Why did it take until 2022 for somebody to say, oh, maybe we should put you on this?
Yep. Yeah. So sorry, it's not. You guys know this. All of you on the panel know this, but I had breast cancer while I was pregnant with my daughter. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that's one of the cancers that are linked to obesity. Like, had someone said something, I mean, they knew that this was out there. I mean, I have to stop speaking about this because I'm going to get very, very emotional and I go off on tangents, and Tay's always like, sit down, Sabrina. So I need to stop. You guys take this one because I need to take a step back because I'm going to get in my feelings. So
Sabrina, water check.
Yep. Right. Look at the chat. Look at the chat. She's like, Sabrina. Like, she knows I get very, very angry.
Sip your water, Sabrina.
Okay. Everybody, hold on. Everybody, do a water check. Everyone in the chat, even if you're going to watch this after, it's like after the live and it's recorded and you're watching it, everybody drink their water.
For sure. I thought, like, I honestly had no problem asking for help because I went to the weight loss clinic and got my own phentermines very young. Well, not very young, but I was an adult. But nonetheless, I know how to visit a weight loss clinic. But when I became a mom, just like you said, you went through, having breast cancer as a as a mother, like, it's a supernatural strength I felt like I just needed to have. And I was like, oh, I can do this on my own. I can do all the things. I can take care of my baby, take care of the home, take care of, my weight situation, and everything. And I don't know, I just had this vision that I needed to have supernatural strength as a mother. And so I didn't want to ask for help. And it came down to it when, when they put me on depression meds, and then my doctor at the time, she was just like, yeah, I'm going to link you with a trainer, to start working on weight loss, because, then I was on high blood pressure medication, all this stuff. So it eventually worked out, but it's just crazy. I know, a little bit, but I really thought I was just going to have this super mom strength, and I don't. I'm not that strong. I'm not my mom. I'm not my grandmother. I'm not that strong. So if anybody's out there, ask for help. It's okay. It's okay.
You are that strong.
I was like,
yeah, you are.
I was like, ma'am,
I know.
I'm
I'm not-
to reel that shit back.
Rewind the tape, ma'am.
I think you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I
strong.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And I'm going to rephrase what you said, So you're not the previous generation because they didn't have the tools.
Mhm.
So you're
Good
not
point,
them.
friend.
You're right. You're not them. You have a different set of tools.
That's
Yeah.
right, friend. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's a tool, right? Everyone with the whole, you're taking the easy way out, you're cheating, you're doing all the things. Or is it a tool?
Mia,
Right.
did you build that bookcase with your bare hands, or did you use power tools?
I happen to use power tools.
Mm-hmm.
You cheated!
I totally cheated.
Cheater.
Taking the easy way out.
Yeah, so it's
Oh my gosh.
yeah, life is literally about finding the least path of resistance in every aspect, right? Like, did you walk to work or did you drive your car? Did you cook dinner on the stove with fire, or did you rub some sticks together? Like, who do you mean the easy way out? It's a tool to help.
Right.
Why is this
Well,
different
and this
from any
is
other tool?
Yeah. And this is still going on today and now with these doctors too. This is why this community and us sharing the message is so critical. So a lot of I already mentioned earlier, my husband is my high school sweetheart. He was and is a gift in my life for many reasons. My life circumstances were not easy. He's easy. He's amazing. He's just easy. And so he came into my life, and at 29 years old, he got cancer. We had a 1-year-old baby. Our son was 1 when that happened. Sabrina, Carrie, about this. Anyway, he survived, which was fantastic. Thank God. But fast forward, when he was 39 years old, he had a heart attack, and he had 4 stents. He survived again. So how lucky am I? I just know, I'm like, wow, first of all, I met him, then he survived that, So, but now he's 55. He has been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Now he has 6 stents in his heart. His cardiologist doesn't wake up and say, hey, let me offer you this. Oh, and he needs to lose the pounds. Okay. So it's not like his cardiologist says, let me suggest this to you. No, I have to go to my husband and tell him, look, we have to advocate and we have to go to your doctor. So they're not just coming up with this all the time. Some are. My functional medicine doctor did. I got lucky, and that's how I learned about these. But
And the
my
thing about
husband
that,
has like this,
Daisy, that makes me angry on your husband's behalf is that my post today about the ways a GLP-1 improves your cardiovascular health came right from the American Heart Association's website.
Right.
I read word for word what it said, and I know that information gets sent to cardiologists across the country every time they publish.
Yeah. And he's only been on it for 4 weeks.
Wow.
4 weeks. I've been on it for 18 months. I mean, I wish that I had known sooner also about all of the things. But once I knew, then I started working on it, and now he's on it. But yes, we need the doctors to be more proactive and more like my functional medicine doctor, who's great and did say something. So I hope that tonight, as I do every day, that our message reaches more people so that they know to go and ask the doctor, and more than ask, demand it. Yeah.
I always say, don't leave there without a script.
Oh yes,
leave without a script.
And if you do, come and see one of us. We'll help you figure out how to get it.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. For those people who are struggling with access, whatever you end up deciding, please make sure it is
Safe.
a safe option. Whatever that looks like for you, but just be careful. I mean, your intention is to go in and improve your health, so just be careful is the only thing I would ask.
Louder for the people in the back, Sabrina. Say it louder.
Yeah, honestly, it's important. 503A, 503B pharmacies. Groupon is not a good option. Someone's garage, literally, that happened.
Toilet bowl GLP-1s are not it, friends.
Yes, that ain't it, y'all. So, please, y'all are playing with your life. Just be careful. Be careful.
I want to add to that and say, don't let your doctor tell you no. Don't take no for an answer. I just in the community that I've built and the people that I've helped, I cannot tell you how many times people are just married to their doctor, which absolutely blows my mind. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, my doctor, they said they don't like to prescribe it. And I'm like, great, time for you to fire that dude, get you a new one. Guess what? Your doctor works for you.
But see, Ellie, this is the thing. Those people who are married to their doctors, and that's also like a cultural thing as well. Like if this one, like everyone in their family goes, everyone in like the cousins and aunts and uncles, like the whole extended family will go to this one doctor. So if this is y'all's doctor, add to your care team. You don't need to fire this.
Right. That's good.
Right. Let's just add to your care team.
Yeah.
Well, and the other piece is ask why.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like your doctor could have a legitimate reason based on your health.
Right.
Ask why and what your other options are. These aren't the only medications. They're the best, but they're not the only ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they tell you to eat less and move more, that's when you need to fire that doctor.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. And that's when you need to fire that doctor.
Yes. Kick them to the curb.
And if they give you a script and don't tell you anything about the meds, you should probably fire them too.
Or you could follow everyone on this panel and learn a lot.
Right.
I mean, not medical advice, but we know all the things.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing that I wanted to add is that same mentality goes for your pharmacy. I see so many people who they get the PA, they get the access, they're excited to start this new phase, and then they're getting shut down at the pharmacy, or they're getting shamed at the pharmacy, which absolutely breaks my heart. I would love to be in line behind somebody who's getting shamed and just lay the absolute smackdown.
Oh, baby. Oh, like God knows not to put me in that situation. Like the Lord knows not to put me in that situation.
Please let me see one of those janky Walmart pharmacists asking somebody if they're diabetic. Please.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but you don't, check with your insurance company, see what your options are. Don't let them tell you you have to just use this one pharmacy. There are other processes. You can branch out. I tell people all the time, if your pharmacy is not working for you, then find a new one. And you would be surprised at how many people go from being utterly defeated, having fought the good fight with their physician and their insurance company, to then get to the pharmacy and get shut down. It goes back to that, like, we are constantly fighting the battle.
And
then
why does nobody judge me when I pick up any of the rest of my prescriptions?
Right.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And when I was at 285 and on 5 different prescriptions, nobody cared.
No.
Nobody cared. Nobody said anything. Yeah. Here you go, on your way. Now it's like everybody's in your business.
Yep.
But I just want to emphasize this point that everyone has been making, where you have to advocate for yourself. And if you need help, ask for help.
There's so many people. That's what I wanted to also say. The people on this panel, there are quite literally thousands of us on these apps that will help you, that we will willingly help you.
That's right. I had there's so many experiences that we can describe, but I'll describe one where before my husband was on the medication, but we knew we wanted to pursue it. So this is probably 7 weeks ago at this point. I made a phone call to our insurance company. They start with an A. And I called them and I said, hello, I would like to talk about what's on the formulary. My husband has met with his cardiologist and we want to pursue, him getting access because he is his cardiologist is going to be prescribing the medication. The person that worked for the insurance company said, let me take a look, blah, blah, blah. What's your group number? Well, you don't have coverage for weight loss medications. And there was silence. And I said, you said that. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I didn't say weight loss. You said that. I said, I'm calling for my husband, whose cardiologist is prescribing the medication because he is a cardiac patient. You said weight loss. Why did you say that to me? Why? Why'd you say that? And so then, it was just, so I ended up going, then she put me through to another group. Then I ended up with the supervisor of that. They have a script, guys. All 3 of them, even the supervisor, tried to talk to me about weight loss medication. And I said, it was approved by the FDA for sleep apnea and cardiac patients. So can we have that conversation? Right. The frustration, I cannot tell you.
So I'm going to get on my little soapbox here about how people reference these medications. I never, ever call them weight loss medications. This is not phentermine.
No.
This is something that's treating a metabolic disorder. It is treating a disease. It is the FDA indication is for the treatment of obesity. It is obesity management. It is not weight loss medication. That happens to be one of the side effects. Does anyone else walk around and say, oh, the A1C reducer? Do you know what I'm saying? Right. I never, ever, ever refer to them as weight loss medications because that's what it becomes reduced to.
Right.
When that's one of the things that it does.
I think we should just start calling it everything it's approved for. Let's just start calling it, just list them out. I love A1C reducer. Yeah, fantastic. That sounds like a really bad wrestler. I'm here to reduce your A1C. Right? I love that. I'm stealing that. Love you, Sabrina.
It's yours. Anything we say, it's up for grabs, guys.
Up for grabs. Perfect. When I told my 2 best friends, which by the way was about 15 months into my journey, okay? My 2 best friends are both named Cindy. Cindy with an I, Cindy with a Y. It's so funny. I call them my Cindys. I didn't tell them what I was doing. And they had seen me, guys. They had seen me go up and down because of the harsh great restriction that I had done. So this isn't a weird thing to watch me, be on a quote unquote diet. Right. But anyway, I finally came out to them and it was easy and the words just came out. I said, I'm taking a medication to address my insulin resistance. It works on my hormones. And finally, the food I eat can be used as energy instead of sent away from, knock, 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 let me in. Okay, well now the insulin can get in there instead of being stored as fat. Boom, done. And you know what I got? Head nodding. That's awesome. That is amazing. That's cool. And the conversation went to the next topic. That was it. That was it. Yeah.
I think there's just such a stigma behind it, right? Like there's just such a stigma behind the it's like these are not like you guys remember that stuff that was out like fen and phentermine, like this is not that. So when people come in and like into our lives and like the very first question is, how much did you lose and how long did it take? Every single time. I'm like, well, let's talk about my A1C real quick. Let's talk about the reduction of inflammation.
A1C reducer.
Well, and I think the other thing is, not to take the no from the doctor or the insurance. Don't take the no if the first one you try doesn't work.
Yes. Yes.
Because if I took that no, I would not be sitting here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep going. Try another one. And, people get hung up on, well, my insurance wants me to do step therapy. Do the steps. Fail the steps. Or maybe you'll succeed. Just do it.
Just do it.
Say it again. Do what?
Just do it.
Right.
It's not we're not sponsored by the swoosh, but just do it.
But honestly, because what's the alternative?
What is the alternative?
Time is going to go by anyway. So you're just going to continue to struggle or do the step therapy.
Right.
Yeah. Continue to struggle or do the song and dance that they require.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't step therapy just all about documentation? So hypothetically, if you know what's going to happen, and I will leave it at that.
Yeah. It's like,
we've done the steps, right?
Exactly that. Yes.
Yeah.
We've all done the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Corey came on the last time we did this. When she went to go get her medication, they're like, you need the step therapy. She's like, baby, I did it. Like, I've been done it. She had all the because she like Sean, like you said, she had been asking for help. Like, so she was like, here you go. Like she had it, all the documentation, everything. So it's time's gonna go by anyway. Why not work towards it?
Yeah.
What do you have to gain?
What is that? If at first you don't succeed, try and try again.
Try again.
You know how many denials I got from my insurance company before I got a GLP-1 with a type 2 diabetes diagnosis?
Wow, I didn't know that.
I got 3 denials.
And
I was like, you must not know me. I'm not the one, and today's not the day.
This is a normal Sunday for Sabrina.
When
I had failed on 2 oral diabetes medications and 2 GLP-1s, and it still took a month for me to get a PA approved for Manjaro.
Wow.
And I'm like calling them. What do you need? What's the problem? What can I send you? Oh, well, it needs to come from. What does my doctor need to send you?
Maybe my doctor's office was tired of me. But so I would call and she'd pick up the phone. She's like, hi, Miss Sabrina. I'm like, hi, Anna. I mean, they knew because I was like, what
do I have to do? Yeah.
And when you call your insurance and they say the letter's in the mail, that's nice. What does the letter say?
Right. Stop playing with me.
Snail mail. I mean, what? The letter's in the mail, like the postal service,
right? Like, what is mail? I don't open that.
I can't tell you the last time I opened a piece of mail.
I don't open that.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I opened up a piece of mail.
Oh, I opened up my W-2 last week so I could do my taxes.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's in a pile. It's in a pile over there because everything's electronic. Why are you sending me like paper?
Yeah.
Paper?
Stop it.
Oh my god.
But
I was actually going to ask a question. I don't know if it probably won't be quick, but inspired by Dave's book, what was everybody's like GLP-1 coming out story?
Ooh, I'm gonna jump in on that one. So, Chanel, I think you talked to Sean before, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
So known Sean for a long time, and he was going through his journey. I didn't know. And the one day we just kind of said, "Are you on this?" I'm like, so and I was telling him like, I'm just documenting because I just said I don't know what day, and I literally said it like that. I was like, I need to have a GLP-1 coming that day. And he was like, just release it. I'm like, I don't know how people are gonna feel about this because there's not too many Black men, especially in the community, talking about this out loud. He's like, just do it, and I did it, and I do not regret it. That's the one thing that people did not, because let's be real, there's trolls everywhere. But that's the one thing to where I just did, which I thought was a shocker. Nobody said anything, and I think it's because they were like, "Dang, he used to be that big, now he looks like that." I mean, I guess they could mess with me there, but this is kind of what it was. It was like, just do it.
Just do it. I'm proud of you, friend.
Well, I'm proud of you for continuing to be accountability partner.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
So, I haven't. I mean, my family all knows, but like half my family's on it. Like, diabetes is genetic, folks. Half my family is on a GLP-1.
No, it's not.
No,
no, it's not. That's
dare you say
definitely
that?
lifestyle choices, Carrie.
Yes, it's definitely lifestyle choices. But I haven't, I don't, people I'm close to know, because I've got half of them on it now. I'm like, our health insurance pays for it.
Right.
But I keep waiting for somebody to be like, I saw you on a YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kelly interviewed me and it's got my full name.
Yeah.
And I haven't posted anything on my Facebook or personal Instagram. So I'm like, and people see me, but like Daisy said, we've all done it, right? Like the up and down of the weight, oh, Carrie's small this month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
It won't be for long.
Yeah, girl. Like I was talking about this last time because I posted on when I did my episode with Dave, he was like, what caused you, why did you start posting about this? And I said, when I saw the effect that it was having on me, I wanted to start helping people. If I could help just one person not feel like what I did, right? But then I was hesitant to do it on Facebook because those people have seen the fight with obesity. I mean, since however long Facebook's been around, right? So they've seen the huge dips and the huge gains up and down, up and down. So then for me to say, hey guys, I'm starting another health journey. So I was very, very, because they'd be like, here we go again, so I was hesitant to post there. But then I finally was like, you know what? I'm not going back.
That's right.
I'm not going back. So I posted there. And I cannot tell you how many people reached out to me and were like, can I have some more information?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
GLP-1 evangelism.
Yeah.
I love that.
Now, I mean, people who don't even want to know are listening to GLP-1 information. People who don't even ask. And I was like, I'm on a GLP-1. They're like, cool story, bro.
Right. What's that?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm walking around with a big trench coat on, and I'm like, "Hey, let me talk to you about this GLP-1 I got." It's like if people are like, "I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch." Okay, thank you.
Like those commercials, like, "Hey, do you want something? Do you want something? I got something for one try. One try. You'll get hooked."
Let me hook you up.
Yes.
You can get one or the other. Which one do you want?
I love it. I love it.
I'm being weird on the internet now. Be quiet.
Yeah. We just know how good we feel. And, you know, it goes back to that empathy that we have for other people. And when we see other people in the pain that we have lived through, you know, we want everybody to feel as good as we do. Yeah.
I see strangers in public and I'm like, I want to tell them about a GLP-1.
I know.
Like,
I do
although
too.
they would deeply appreciate it, there's no way to do that without
There's not.
horrible.
And I'm like,
consequences.
and it's like one of those things that I see them and I'm like, oh, a GLP-1 would really help them. I wonder if their doctor has talked to them about it.
Right.
And like, it's general, like it's from a place of good. And then I'm like,
Obviously.
Carrie, you can't.
People don't know what they don't know.
But think about being on the receiving end of that.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm like,
we can't do that.
There's no good way to do
I
that.
can't do that, but I can hope that they stumble upon a post on TikTok or Instagram or find Dave on YouTube.
Just, you know what? We'll have to have like a tote bag of a stash of Dave's books. And when we're in the grocery store, oops, I dropped that.
But you can keep it.
Chuck it in their basket, you know, like chuck it in their basket and run away.
Man, I love how men talk because they'll say something without saying. They're like, man, you looking pretty good. Well, what you do? I'm like, let me tell you about what I did.
Yeah.
Did you have time to talk about the wonderful things that a GLP-1 can do for you?
Right.
You have 25 minutes to listen to my spiel about how amazing this is.
Right.
Mary had a post about this today on TikTok, and I was like, I feel like a Jehovah's Witness sometimes. Because I don't know if people want to hear it or not, but I'm gonna tell it. I haven't really had a coming out story per se, but I've had one. You know, I did introduce myself on TikTok, and I think that was my coming out story. I haven't done it on Facebook or Instagram just because I don't really use those platforms. But ever since I made that first post, and I was a couple months into the journey before making that post, and it just felt like I needed to finally like put a face behind a name and make a video and just introduce myself to the community rather than just lurking in the hallways and, you know, lurking in people's lives and things like that. So I felt that it was just the right time. And I felt like I was confident that the medicine was working before I could actually, you know, introduce myself, introduce the fact that I was on tirzepatide and that it was working and it was having such positive effects on me. I just felt that, you know, I needed the medicine to prove itself to me first.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that is fair.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody like except for like 3 people, but I started posting and like my family would even follow me on TikTok and come into my lives and just I guess it didn't all come together. And then finally a few of them asked me on the side, like, are you taking those, you know, injections? I said, yes. And it was the best way that I could have come out because like now my mom is like, she knew Zepbound was approved for sleep apnea before I did. She's like into, you know, all the specials and learning more about these medications. And, you know, some of my family members have even gone to be on it. So it was the best way for me to come out and do this because sometimes we don't give people enough credit because they don't know what they don't know. And this is the best time to like educate them from, you know, obviously our standpoint of being on it. But I'm so grateful. I wasn't necessarily, you know, worried about what they were going to say. I just didn't feel like it was something that I needed to discuss. But I'm glad that I did it that way because now they're like so much more educated and from a place willing to learn, since they have a family member who is actively, doing it and on the journey. So that was hilarious. I was like, yeah. But it was like months before they even said anything. And I was just like, literally like a year. I started in November and I was content creating. And then my mom asked me like literally that next September. So it's almost a whole year. I brought it to her house and everything.
That's so funny.
That.
Yeah. I think my delay in not sharing it also was from my own ignorance of my needing to have it unfold, that I was learning what the medication was really doing and what the medication was really for. And you know what, Carrie, I'm thinking about a post that you did this week, maybe it was today or yesterday, talking about GLP-1 and the heart. And it's like, you know what, if I had known and I was as educated about the benefits of a GLP-1 medication for heart health, well, obviously there would have been no delay. There would have been no hesitation. I wouldn't have waited 15 months to talk to my best friends about it. So part of it was just, I needed to get smart and educated about it all.
Well, while I muted myself, I just came out on Facebook because I posted that post on my Facebook account.
There you go.
I love
Wow.
that.
Yeah, it was you have a lot of good posts, Carrie, but I was like leaning in on that one, going, you go, because so important to share that. Yeah.
I think that although it's uncomfortable to put yourself out there and open yourself up to the trolls and the opinions and all of that, it's so important, and we're helping people. At the end of the day, I mean, that's why we do what we do.
That's right.
It's so we can help people. And Daisy, what you were saying earlier is like to help someone avoid feeling that feeling anymore unnecessarily, like they don't have to anymore. Like we didn't know, but now that we do, we're doing everything we can to share.
That's right.
So
yeah,
I'm grateful for this. So like we were talking earlier, like for me, all of my content is on TikTok, and with some gentle nudging, I have tried to expand to other platforms and just trying to find my footing and trying to figure it out. Allie, I might have to get with you to learn about YouTube.
Yes.
Because what? I don't understand it.
It's girl, I'll get you good.
Okay.
I got you. And you'll love it. You'll love it.
I hope so. Well, I to be honest, I'm most excited about connecting with the GLP-1 community here.
Yeah.
And on the Facebook platform, on all the other platforms. I'm just excited with connecting and helping on the other platforms. So it's what drives me most, is that need and that want to avoid what I was feeling 19 months ago. Nobody needs to feel like that anymore.
Right.
So, okay. How are you guys feeling? Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys want to wrap it up? You guys want to keep going?
Do we have more questions, Sabrina?
I can ask. I've got 17 questions here, so I can ask.
Oh my God!
I can ask one of mine.
So we don't want to.
I can ask one of mine. Okay, let's see here. So when Dave talks about how he has this, like, I think that's why when I found Dave, because I don't know anyone else who has this like insatiable need to consume GLP-1 content. Like it's all I do when I'm not like, like it's almost manic, so because it's changed my life. I mean, completely changed my life. So I'm like, give me all, like any kind of GLP-1 information. I mean, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So yes, this one only has 17, but I have like a book. So questions. But okay. So this one is let me get to this one. Today, up to wherever you are today, are you satisfied? So there's a couple. Are you satisfied with your health journey, Carrie? Your health quest? Why or why not? And what have you done to contribute to that success or failure?
That's easy. I'll go first, if that's okay. I am never satisfied, and that's an issue in my life. So one of the things that I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's so ironic, and this is so typical, right? Because I coach other people about being in the here, being in the now, because there's all these comorbidities that come with ADHD, like anxiety, and we talked about all the executive functioning things, but anxiety, depression, also rumination, all those things go with ADHD. Well, my issue is when you ask the question, are you satisfied? You don't even have to ask the second half of the whatever that question is about fill in the blank, because no, I will never be satisfied. Now, some of that, I guess, can be healthy because it makes us drive forward. It makes us, lean in and work hard and drive. But it is so important to celebrate what we have accomplished. And I have to remind myself to do it. Those 2 best friends that I talked about, one of the 2 in particular, they're both great at it, really. They help me to do it. So have I done all the things? Some days I do. Some days I kick ass at doing all the things. But consistency is what gets us there.
Right.
So if I could pick one thing to improve upon, it would be that. It would be consistency, because I know that that's going to get me to the next 18 months and the better results. So yeah.
I would echo that. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with my result. Well, I won't say I'm not happy. I am happy with where I am currently, but could I be further along if I would have been more consistent with doing all the things all the time? Yes. And so I feel like there's still some diet culture wrapped up in my thought process of it's your fault. You could have been doing more. You could have been doing, like always, striving for that next goal or that next milestone. I think I could have been there had I been more consistent. But I am very happy. I'm very happy though with where I am, because I feel like the picture of myself that I have had in my head for the past however many years finally matches what I see in the mirror. And for that reason, I am happy with my progress. But am I satisfied with my progress? No, because I think I could be further along. So it's kind of a catch-22, I guess.
Me, a lot of people say that. including me, because she was struggling with BD. But at the end of the day, it is a huge what word am I looking for? That's not the J word. It's a huge quest. There we go. It's a huge quest.
I shall convert you all.
Like I said, I'm saying this with love. That's why, because I feel you, because I feel like we feel the same way about a lot of things. It takes so much time, and it's so hard to say, oh well, maybe if I would have did this a little bit different or did that, let's say, and I'm not saying we're failing. I'm not saying that, but hypothetically, we all have to fail in order to learn what's up for us. So, for example, Sabrina could tell me, "Oh, we'll try this." Well, hypothetically, let's say Sabrina said, "Do this." It might not work for me, so I had to try that and say, "Oh, that didn't work for me." So I have to see how my body operates. So that's why it's amazing going on this quest. So, like I said, what you said, I feel the same way, because I'm like, I should be further. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why can't I lose my back fat? Why can't I lose my stomach fat? But it's like, no, you need to attack things differently, because I'm not Carrie. I'm not Daisy. I'm not Chanel. I'm not anyone. I'm me, and my body operates differently.
Yeah.
So I think I'll flip that on its head, because shockingly, I am satisfied with where I am.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
But that's because I have disconnected the weight from the quest. The quest is about my health, and the weight doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Are my labs better? Is my blood pressure better? Am I physically able to do more things? I can check all of those boxes. I say this all the time. If I did not lose another stinking potato or pound or feather or whatever word we want to use, I would keep taking this medication every week.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
and that's ultimately where the name Beyond the Scale comes from, because this journey is not just about that number, right? So I also, Carrie, am going to echo how you feel. Am I satisfied with where I'm at? Yes. Do I wish and want for more? Also, yes. But I have that drive, that want, that desire, that pull to keep going, to push. That I'm hungry for it. Like I want, like I have a very, very specific goal of what, because there is no weight goal for me. It's a body goal. And that's just going to be built in the gym, So I'm satisfied and happy with it, but I do want more, but I'm excited about it. I'm very excited.
And I think that's it too, right? Like, and I think I may come at it from a different perspective, because I'm smaller right now than I was when I graduated high school. Like, I've never been small. So like, I don't have this image of myself at some point in time that I'm like, I want to be her. Because even when I was when I was this size then, I thought I was huge, because compared to my friends, I was significantly larger. So now I can just look at it and go, I'll know when I know. Sabrina knows I have lots of Brunos, and I use them every day. I even have one that I take with me when I travel, but because it has no bearing on me.
Hold on. For the other people who are not on TikTok, tell them what you're saying.
So Bruno is your scale.
Right.
Bruno has cousins.
We have to be careful on what we say on TikTok. So we use all these really weird words that nobody else can understand.
Because of Jay, I have the Disco Bruno now.
Disco.
That's so funny.
People who have multiple scales, like, we need to chat. Like, we need to privately chat. Stop
Me
it. Too. Stop
Me
it.
too, Carrie.
It has,
like you said, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me.
But
it's just data.
I think for you, Carrie, it's not an emotional thing that's negative. Right. You like data.
Right.
Data
me too.
is in your DNA, and that
Yes.
for you, that's yeah.
It's just a number, and it doesn't mean anything about me, which, listen,
Yeah.
that is a mental shift that people ask me, what was your heaviest weight? I don't know, because I wouldn't step on a scale for years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can give you an estimate based on like looking at old medical records, but that's the best I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad you ladies said that, because I also am chronically delusional, and I think I've done very well. I couldn't have changed a single thing. And just going with it took me 3 years altogether to lose the 100 pounds, a year and a half without therapy, and I lost 10 pounds in a year and a half with just diet and exercise. But then with therapy, 90 pounds in a year and a half. And so I think I really needed that time. And my orthopedic specifically, he was like, you need to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. And when I did not, he didn't beat me up, and I didn't beat myself up. And I'm glad I had that mental check to say it's okay, and we just keep going. We keep moving. So I'm very proud of myself. Couldn't have done it better myself.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
Releasing that pressure that you put on yourself, like we were talking about earlier, the self-imposed time frame. The people who join the lives that are like, how long did it take you? That was me in the beginning of my journey. How long did it take you? And now that I've lost 110 chalupas.
I love the names.
I have not only this whole new lease on life, which I'm satisfied with, but I have a new perspective. Like you're saying, it's not about those things. It's beyond. And that's what I have drive for now. So the focus has changed. The emphasis has changed. And if I could go back and talk to myself a year and 2 months ago and say, hey, self, don't go into that live and ask that poor person how long it took them to lose 100 chalupas, because you're just going to be annoying them. They've answered that question 20 times. You'll get there when you get there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You're going to learn so much along the way. The side quests, that's where it's at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of those content creators that I have a lot of posts about being a slow responder, a slower responder. And I talk about how, because really, when I looked finally after, I don't know, I think it was like 14 months, I went back and looked at all the data. And actually my losses were in line with the trials, about a half of a potato per week. Okay. So Sema was a half per week over 68 weeks. TERS was 0.73 over 72 weeks. So I actually fell right in there, but I think it's okay to acknowledge that we had expectations. We started this medication with expectations. So when I say slow or slower responder, the fact that it took me 15, 17 months to lose 50, when, by the way, I still have 50 more to go. I think that I don't find in my mind and in my spirit that that's a negative connotation for me. Yeah. It was just an expectation that, and by the way, it wasn't just me, it was my doctor too, right? My doctor also thought, wow, that I would lose more quickly than I have. But the cool thing is, hey, when I look at that before and I look at the current, I'm midway through my journey, it's like awesome. Because after 30 years, I was stuck. Now I am unstuck. So now I'm cool with the fact that after another 18 months down the road, I know that I'm just going to feel healthier. My labs are already amazing. They're going to keep getting better, and it's going to take time, but I'm glad that I can speak to those people out there that it's not meeting the expectations that they had setting out. And that's okay.
Daisy, you jumped right up out of that low chair on the beach.
I did. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Slow, normal, fast, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You jumped up out of that chair that you probably couldn't have gotten down into 50 pounds ago.
No, I would have looked at that chair. And I didn't mention I took my puppy on, I took a lunch break from work and I took her to the beach, which by the way was amazing because I don't live here at the beach. It was a really nice treat. Yeah. And I didn't have a chair with me. And I looked at her and I thought, we've walked a really long time. And when I'm walking, I don't really look at the waves, but I wanted to look at the waves. Oh my gosh. I turned to the left and looked down at the sand and I thought, can I get down there? Like no chair. And I looked at her, I said, oh yeah, we're doing this. And we sat on the actual sand and looked at the waves. And it just was it was nothing. It was no big deal. Yeah. It's just a huge gift.
It's like
you guys.
Little moments like that. Little moments like that wouldn't have
moments.
happened before, you know? I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. It was great.
Does anyone else want to touch or did everyone go for that one?
I'm gonna add something real quick.
Yep.
Because so me, I'm laughing. I'm picking on you today. When you talk, it's almost like you're speaking on my GLP-1 journey. It's almost like that's why I just laugh and like you trigger me in a good way. So what also triggered a question for you all, kind of on the same topic as to, did you all ever have to do a restart? Meaning, let's say you maybe took a week off, a month off. You said, "Hey, I'm gonna restart." Did you all ever have to do that?
I've never done it. My A1C needs 15 milligrams. Like back, I don't know when it was, maybe last summer, where 15 milligrams was like nowhere to be seen. I had to go down to 12.5, which has always been my bit. I love 12.5. So I went and got my A1C check and my it went up. My A1C went up because I had gone down to 12.5. So I had to go back up to 15. So I need 15 milligrams for my A1C.
Wow.
So I don't know that I could take time off or go down to 2.5 or do a reset. I am anxiously awaiting the higher doses of Mounjaro. I know that they're only going up to 25, but I would have loved to try 30. But so for me, that I cannot do. I cannot do it.
And I'll give more context behind it. There was, like I said, just being open and honest. I went through this time to where I was like, this isn't working. I should be farther ahead. When the cravings started coming back, I was like, yep, it's not working anymore. Let me just stop. Let me just be done. I'm just gonna, eat my way through. So let me stop taking this, and we're just gonna, we just give up. I mean, that we went back to it, of course. But I don't know. Just trying to see if anyone else ever had one of those moments as to, I should be further along, but I give up. But hey, you got back in it.
So I didn't, but we went through this with my mom, and it was kind of related to what Sabrina has going on with her A1C. My mom was on 1 milligram of Ozempic, and all of a sudden she had gotten taken off all of her other medication, her insulin, her blood sugar was perfect. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what's going on? You just you seem off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of a sudden, it just stopped controlling her blood sugar.
Wow.
And it was like overnight, her blood sugars were up in the 150 to 180 range with no reason.
Wow.
So her doctor took her off of it, and she was off for 2 months and came back, started on Mounjaro. I'm like, Mom, I don't like it. Your blood sugar is still not under control. He's got you back on insulin. Ask him about Mounjaro.
Yeah.
He said, oh yeah, let's try it. She told him about, kind of what happened with me, because I used to see him years ago, so he knows me. And she did 2.5. She's on 5 now, and her blood sugars are back to normal.
Go, Mama.
Excellent.
Love it.
Good.
Love it.
That's
But
great.
I think these are receptors, right? There's receptor burnout.
Yeah.
And that's why they say switch injection sites. But what's happening?
Bioavailability.
Yeah, that's the bioavailability. But like the actual receptors in your body
Oh, yes,
become
yes.
accustomed to the medication,
Right.
and they don't respond the same way.
So
That's why you need to move. Like people who are doing amazing on 5, all of a sudden, oh, I got to move up because it's not enough medication for your body.
Yeah.
So
I do have on reserve the concept of going back to SEMA at some point if I need to, like switching the like I've talked to my doctor and I'm like, I'm going to stick. So I go between 15 on TERS. I go between 15 and 12.5. And the only reason I go back, I'm on 15, but the only reason I go down to 12.5 sometimes is I will just hit a wall of exhaustion every once in a while. It doesn't always happen, but then I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to go back down. But it is very slow for me. I am in menopause though, and I've got low muscle, so I'm working on the muscle. I've had hypothyroidism for 30 years. There are things, and I need to walk more, and there are things that I need to do as well. But yeah, I have on reserve that I maybe either need to go back to SEMA or like you said, I've talked to my doctor about, do people even do that? Do they take a break and then start at a low dose and start over again? I'm open to all of it. Whatever we need to do, that's what I'll do.
So this is something that I've currently been researching. There are 2 camps as far as receptor burnout. There is the group of medical professionals that says, yes, burnout is a thing. And then there's the group that says, no, it's not a thing, right? GLP-1 is naturally produced in the body. If we had receptor burnout, then we would fall apart. So it's not a thing, but adaptation is a thing. Just like Sabrina was talking about earlier, where your body wants to get back to the happy, fluffy place, then your body is actively working against it, right? So that you can get back there. So it's very interesting. And people who do take a break from whatever they're on, I find that they fall into 2 categories. There are the people who can take a break, they come back, they find the dose that works for them, they're good to go. They start having controlled blood sugar, they start having, all the benefits. And then there's the other group, and it's like a 50-50 split where they don't have anything. It's like it doesn't work the second time around. And all of that is very interesting to me. So I am currently tracking it and staying on top of it because I am just waiting for them to come out with the data.
Allie, we need to nerd out on this because I'm also always looking this stuff up. Like I want to know all of the science behind it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
also, Allie, is for Dave reporting on the other medications that are in trials and stuff that we have to look forward to. This is another reason why we may need those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sabrina.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I did take a break. What was this? Yeah, a year ago. I took a month off. And I think it was like, during the transition when I was trying to get to a goal. So I had about 20 more pounds to lose. I don't know if it hurt or helped me, but I'm glad I did take the break because y'all know I will skip around my injection site. I mean, I will skip around my injections. Like it's not that deep for me. Like I can skip and don't have to take it. And even in maintenance now, I've been spacing them out. So yeah, I did take a break off and I restarted. I did gain 8 pounds, but it was the holidays, I was turning up and whatnot. But and then when I got back on, I don't remember the weight necessarily like just falling off, but it was just continued to come off, which was good. So it was good to take a little break. Sometimes you need a breather, take the stress out of it, and just carry on. So I definitely do advocate for taking a break. Definitely talk to your provider.
Well, and Chanel, didn't you just switch back to Wegovy for a little while too?
Thank you. Yep, and I've switched medications. So I've tried it all.
How did that go? Switching the medications?
Honestly,
like side effects and things like that.
Yeah, honestly, I had no issues. I was kind of scared because, so many people in the community, they have their differences between being on a semaglutide versus tirzepatide, but honestly, nothing different. And throughout my whole time, I've never had any bigger side effects or less side effects on either or. I honestly don't have a preference. It's been very seamless for me.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, good.
So,
And I'm one of those people that, as bad as I did on Ozempic, like, I want to try it again. I'm like, can I beat it?
Just do it.
I beat it. Talk to your doctor. See what your doctor says.
He said no. I asked.
Yeah, well, then,
Oh,
then
okay,
the
well, then
answer is no.
He said no, and I'm like, but what about when I hit my goal weight and I have a normal A1C?
Okay, Tay, going rogue. No.
She's like, no, Carrie. We can talk about literally what she said. She looked at me and said, we can talk about retatrutide when that comes out.
When I talk to my doctor about retatrutide, he just kind of gives me a blank stare, like, stop. That's not why we're this, like, because I would like make an appointment and be like, so let's talk about retatrutide. He's like, no.
I think my doctor is following all of us on TikTok because she knows a lot more now than she did 2 years and 7 months ago when she sent in the script for Ozempic and didn't tell me anything.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, guys. I didn't realize how late it was because this has been amazing. We have to do closing thoughts. So for closing thoughts, I just like what do you want this GLP-1 community to know, and let everyone know where to find you. Like follow, like chat, people who are watching, follow everyone up here, follow the panel. So closing thoughts, and where can people find you? Carrie?
Closing thoughts. You are all wonderful, and I include everyone in the chat. And please just stay connected and support each other. I am wellness.scrummaster everywhere. If there is a platform, I am probably there. Except for the ones that I haven't gotten my beta access to yet.
Okay. I know which one you're talking about.
Daisy?
Oh, all righty. So, yes, I am grateful for this community. When we thought that, TikTok was going away, and it came back, I said, 3 reasons why I'm happy it's back: community, community, and community. And that is what is keeping me focused. So I am grateful to all of you. I watch your posts, I join your lives, and I'm, a recipient and I just benefit from everything that you share. So I am my darling Daisy. Hello. And I am on not everywhere like Carrie. I am on TikTok, and I am very newly on YouTube.
Well, I would like everyone to know that you are more than the scale. It's important to do the head and the heart work while you are also working on your physical form. And I can be found on TikTok at MiaX1908.
So for my closing thought, I just wanted to say that when life gives you new beginnings, don't make old mistakes.
Ooh.
So just let that marinate a little bit. I'm Allie over on Fit Flavor Fun on all the things. So come and check it out. And I also wanted to mention 2 things. 1, buy Dave's book. 2, check out the lives on Thursday night. Okay, 3 things. 3 things. 4 things. Last, please. I'm sorry. I was trying for a long time. I was saving my time for now. Okay. So lives, do that. Yes. If you know anybody who works for SiriusXM, please let Dave know so that we can get him over on a channel on SiriusXM. Okay. Also, if anybody knows someone from Ziploc, okay, if they could contact literally anyone in the cereal industry so that we could get those 2 people together. Ziploc, cereal.
Oh,
Let's make it happen, people. We are a community about change, and we can make big things happen. I love you guys.
I love it.
Thank you for that.
That's funny. Yeah, because there's no reason that that's not a thing yet.
That's what I'm saying.
No reason.
You are
I love
the most clever. I am so excited to hear about this.
That's why Dave keeps me around.
Yep.
So before my closing thought, sorry, Chanel did something. I was trying to suppress a laugh, and it came out in tears. So yeah, I had to laugh that off. But closing thoughts. Okay, let me get serious. People in the community, you all have family members, you all have loved ones in your life. Please make sure, because I know you're showing up for them. Make sure you're showing up for yourself. And you can find me on TikTok at Jean-Henri Lee, and I also have a link tree where you can find all my other social medias. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to say happy Black History Month. And of course, you guys, please, please, please love on yourself. We are preparing our relationships with yourself, your food, and your skill. With all those three things, you can be successful. And if you don't start today, tomorrow's a new day. I love you guys. Thank you for having me on here again.
Of course.
I'd love the On the Pen community. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. So my closing thoughts are going to be, I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to ask this community to trust yourself and this medication. I wrote this one down. You can't fix yourself with the same negativity that broke you. Right? So for most of us, obviously, this has been a lifelong journey. It takes time to change the course of a river. Show yourself some grace. Show yourself some kindness. And I want to thank this amazing panel. You guys have been incredible. Once again, I am going to thank you for your time. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for being brave and sharing your story. You've helped. You've helped someone today. You've helped many people today. So I appreciate you. Thanks, Dave, on the pen. I mean, everyone literally adores you. So thank you to everyone who has hung out in the chat, to all the other platforms. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I hope you guys join us next time. Do me a favor, though, because I cannot monitor the chat. So once this live gets posted as a video on YouTube, will the viewers just pop your thoughts in the chat? Let us know. How did it go? What were your thoughts? What did you think about this panel? Let us know. And I love you guys. Everyone have a great
Sabrina.
night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Follow me.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Ellie, I love it. Bye, honey.
Love you guys.